we getting prepared with?
Well, first I gotta crack this this white monster.
What?
You know?
You're sick.
If white monster means I'm sick, I don't ever want to be cured. I don't ever want to be well. God, it's so good. And then I have to light this here cigar. I don't know where my lighter went. Not prepared. We started talking about stuff before we even hit record.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. It just kind of happened. We just started conversing.
We did. So this is episode 27 of ArachNerds. It has been a couple weeks. We've been busy with stuff.
Things. Slings.
Podcast schedules between flipping tin and some of the other stuff. And then you were busy one night and I was out herping one night.
Just like work.
Just usual stuff. But we're back. This episode is brought to you by Fulvius Apparel, fulviusapparel.com. Shirts, hats, coffee mugs, maybe Zen tins soon.
Oh,
those are, I want to do those, but they make me a little nervous because they're kind of like Zippos. The blanks are very expensive. So if I put some out there and nobody wants them, then I'm stuck with them. And I spent a bunch of money on blanks that I can't do anything with. So I might maybe do like a pre-order kind of thing so I can kind of gauge how many I need. I don't know, but regardless, hoodies. I know we're out of hoodie season, at least down here, but they're still available for those of you that live in the Arctic Circle. Use the code THN at checkout. Gets you 15% off your order. That is the exclusive promo code for THN listeners and viewers like you. I do have some new designs that I have been working on. Added a bunch of stuff like last week before last. So if you haven't checked that out, go check that out. And then you need to hop on over to the best invert community on the web.
The coolest
on the web. Yeah.
Nice.
Discord.gg/TA. That is Tarantula Addicts. Great group. Cool people. I thoroughly enjoy hopping on there. I'm not on there a ton. I'm usually just so busy at work. It's not until somebody tags me that I'm like, oh, I need to.
It's me. I just tagged Justin. That's what it is.
Well, I feel like you have to have like because there's so many people on there and it's like so active. Like if I kept notifications on, it'd be buzzing. Like,
yeah, it'd be tough
all day. So
it'd be tough. Yeah,
I pop in there periodically. A couple times a week.
Check out what's going on. Send some Bambus pics.
Send some pictures of whatever I got cooking.
Bambus,
but it is genuinely a good community run by very
coolest community.
And this episode is actually going to kind of like not really center around TA, but who is joining us?
Anna from TA.
The boss lady.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. She's coming through at some point. And
she'll be on here shortly. Because she's on West Coast time, so we figured we'd hop on, get our updates and stuff out of the way. And I mean, what do you got going on up there?
Well, Justin, I actually wanted you to start.
Man. You want to? Okay.
Yeah, I'm bad. You got to start. We had some good discourse. Briefly prior to you toggling the record button.
So I got a lot of spiders. I mean, I had a lot, but I got even more now. Thanks.
Yeah, Justin was he was a recipient.
Dude, my coworkers were like, "What's in that box?" I was like, "More spiders." They're like, "Really?" They're like disappointed because they're not adults and like colorful. It's all like small stuff, and they're all like brown. They're like, they all look the same.
It's like
they're wondering. They're like, "Do you even keep snakes anymore?" And I'm like, "Yes, I have plenty of snakes. I still keep them. I'm not getting any new snakes at the moment. I don't, But I got a bunch of stuff, a bunch of cool stuff. Just went through, came home from work, pulled some molts, but added to the group now is one Aurea tibialis, which is cool, a handful of H-Max, a couple of Cobalt Blues.
I did that.
Yep, Phil did that. Another erratum, which I thought was really cool because, like, so you guys, like, you and Mike sent me a box, and I knew like some of the stuff in the box, but I didn't know everything in the box. So that was kind of cool because I was like taking out the vials. Got a male Metallica to go with the, with Britney Spears at some point. What else? Some Salmopius, some Cambridge Eye, some Victory.
Anna produced those Victoria.
Which I'm actually super pumped about because of all the Salmopius. That's one that I
Dude, they're metal. Those little guys are savages.
Yeah.
They just they'll grab food.
I was not prepared. So like the only Salmopius I've ever kept was like a single Erminia, years ago. And that was the extent of my experience with them. I was like, okay, they're cool. Like I liked it. I enjoyed having it, but I never had the issues that I had with the Cambridge Eye slings of like the jumping and the bolting and the hopping and like, so I had that happen. And one of the Cambridge Eye had a night on the town in the room. It jumped off the table, landed on the floor, didn't see which direction it went. So I was like, well, shit. And then I was like, okay, well, I doubt I'm going to see it again because it's tiny. And so then the next day I get home from work, walk in my room, look on the ceiling, and lo and behold, that little bastard's just hanging out, having them a good old time. So I managed to get it back. And, I was really irritated with myself because I'm like, my room is a bit of a wreck. My room is small and there's a lot of crap everywhere.
You're a big guy. It's a bull in a china shop situation. Cambridge Eye are quick.
Really mad at myself because I was like, if I just had a normal sized room, I could have the space where stuff takes off. Like I'm good. That's why like rehousing the Albus striatus and like some of the Seriopagabus stuff makes me a little more nervous because it's like, dude, if they take off, they get under a rack or something, like I'm not getting those back anytime soon. It's not happening. And it's frustrating. But either way, I got that Cambridge Eye sling back, so all is well there.
You just got to do it in a tub. You just got to do it in a big
and
tub.
I've started doing that depending on the size of the spider. Tub in a tub has helped a little bit for any runners. Got a male Mira from Mike. So I have that mature female I bought last year. Mike had this mature male, said he's pretty much ready to go. So he sent him down, got him set up and everything yesterday. And he's been hanging out, kind of getting him prepped for his storming of the beaches, so to speak.
Yes, excellent.
I have no idea what I'm doing, but we're going to do it.
You put the boy with the girl in the box, and then you protect.
I want to definitely ask Anna about Mira a little bit because from the sounds of it, it sounds like Mira are actually pretty.
They're really chill. They're really chill, dude. They're not hard to.
Minimal risk of the male getting dealt with. So.
No, I think he'll be okay. Just give her some food.
It's a good species to start with. So
give her some food, dude. Did you give?
I did. I put something in there today when I got home from work. She's like, dude, she's freaking plump, man.
Yeah, she's
thick.
Excellent.
To the point where like I'm concerned to keep feeding her because I'm afraid she's gonna get too thick.
Good.
So maybe that'll happen this weekend. I don't know. I was talking to Dritz about it a little bit. He kind of told me how to set him up so that he doesn't really dig and burrow right away, and you kind of encourage some sperm web making.
Like, hey man, do this. Hey man.
Yeah, and it's pretty watered down setup. It's basically he's like 1 inch of moss.
Yep. That's
something to anchor the web to, be it a stick or I put a piece of cork in there, small piece, and just wait. So that's what I did.
Like you want to see that web, and then when you see it, the boy's ready. The boy's ready. Like
he's loading up the guns.
Yeah, man. When he's ready, he's ready. And I've seen them pair, I think 4 times, maybe 3 or 4 times, and they've always been pretty chill as far as baboons go. They'll lock up for a little bit. Like he'll bend her over. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, there's
Um,
also, again, to get the context of what a mature male Mira looks like, because again, we see pictures and
they're
stuff all the
not big, dude. It's
and
not a
if you
big
haven't
dude
seen a mature male, you don't really have
like
the reference
Justin.
for like, yeah, because I have 3, right? So I've got one that I thought was a male that now we're starting to think probably isn't, and the other 2 are females. One of them is the one that's going to get paired, and the other one's a smaller one that I looked at the molt, and it is a girl.
Hmm.
So it was like, well, I don't know if this is a boy or not. And everyone's like, well, they're smaller. And it's like, well, how much smaller can smaller be? It's already a small
I d-
species. So now
it-
that I see it, it's I'm like, okay, I see what people are saying now. You know, there's um it's just kind of frustrating when it's hard to get a real grasp of for reference, like the size differences and things like that, and like knowing when something's gonna be what you need it to be, or whatever. You know what I mean? But the
learning. You're learning.
yeah, yeah. The Catapelma molted. Check that molt. That's a female.
Hmm.
Um, which those things have weird spermatheca, dude. I don't know if you've ever seen pictures of those things. Like they're strange. I don't know
Really?
how to describe them. They're weird. They're like
What?
longer and they're almost like they have like little bulbs, sort of
Huh.
almost like a jester's hat, if that makes sense. You know what I'm talking
Sure.
about? Where it's like imagine something like that and they kind of like droop over. It's strange. Because at first I
That
was like,
is strange.
that is what am I looking at? And then I looked up the spermatheca on Google and I was like, oh, okay, there's just bizarre. You know, it's not little dog ears like with the taxinus or other stuff. So, but that's cool. I like that species. They're pretty.
Yeah, I
Pretty neat.
wonder what the mechanism, like what the purpose of that shape is. Maybe I'm not sure.
I mean, off the top of my head, I would think that because they're sort of deeper, quote unquote tunnels,
Mhm.
as like for spermatheca, that because maybe they're such an arid species, having those deeper canals helps
Mhm.
protect or retain things better than shorter spermatheca. I don't know.
Maybe
I'm
shooting
not
in the
smart.
dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you sent me another Darlingi.
Produced by Mike. Oh yeah, Mike or Devin.
So I've got 2 of those now.
Hmm.
Um, I feel like I'm missing something. I'm sure I am, but a lot
I
of
sent you
stuff.
some Lividus.
Yep.
Um,
The Stromatopelma. Got
oh,
that.
I sent you a
Yep.
Stromatopelma. Oh yeah, dude. How do you like those things? They're
Dude,
freaking
that
ninjas,
thing's
dude.
like when I was setting that thing up in a slightly bigger vial,
Yeah,
like that
you gotta be
motherfucker took
careful with
off. I
that.
was like, Jesus
Yeah,
Christ! Like,
yeah.
okay,
Wheels.
let's see, we're sort of in that realm of like climbs like a pokey but moves like Seriopagavus as far as like the erratic, like not gonna do laps. I'm just gonna go wherever I want
Yeah,
to go, like
they're
little ball of
yeah,
chaos kind of thing. So that
they're
was
very quick. They're
interesting.
beautiful, dude. They're
Hmm.
so beautiful.
Yeah.
Um, such a cool spider. I got a young adult here that I think is female. I think, but they're really pretty, dude. Really cool looking spider. Super metal.
If I recall, I think are those still sort of regarded as like the most toxic, most potent spider as far as tarantulas go?
I have no idea. It'd be a wicked bad bite, but
I
I don't
feel
know if
like,
it's the.
if I recall correctly, I feel like Stromatopelma were supposed to be ranked as like the worst.
I don't know.
I think it's
I
kind
have
of
no
like
idea.
venomous snakes. It's like, does it really matter? Because if you just got hit by any of them, it's gonna suck. It's like,
Yeah, if you were to get hit by this dude, you'd be bumming for sure.
yep.
You definitely hear about it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They also get pretty big, dude. Like the females are they're decent
Mm-hmm.
size. Like it's a big woman. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Super cool. Arboreal baboon ninja. How about those HMAX though?
Yeah, dude. I fed them the night before. No, what's today? Thursday? I gave each one of those a pre-killed cricket, and like I was saying in the chat yesterday, I was amazed at how much of that they ate, considering those pre-killed crickets were pretty big for
Pretty
that size.
big, yeah. I was gonna
And like
say
I was pulling what was left of the crickets out, and I'm like, good lord, these little bastards
it's
ate like
not
half
much.
this thing, dude. No, they would
Yeah,
eat a ton of it. I was
yeah.
amazed. I was expecting like half of what they actually ate, but they ate a lot. So I was like, all right.
It's cool, dude. They're little savages.
Oh, I got that Oresis, which is really neat. I set that up in a little micro tarantula crib.
Oh, dude, I love velvet spiders. I think they're so interesting.
I want to take that little setup to work so bad, just to have on my desk. But I don't.
They're so durable, so robust. They eat like little savages. They're tiny.
Mm-hmm.
Those what is it? Wacklinieri?
Mm-hmm.
The Ursus that I sent you, they actually get like an adult. The adult females look crazy. They look so cool.
It's like if you had like a cartoonist draw a spider from memory. Little
Yeah, they look like buttons.
Tiny beady eyes, yeah.
Yeah,
Really neat.
awesome.
Those have had my attention since we had we've talked about Oresis a couple times, yeah, but I know there were some other times we had mentioned it, and doing a little more sort of reading on them casually, I was like, those are actually pretty neat. I think it kind of fits the best of both worlds. Like you get a longer lived thing than a jumper, but it's still like sort of jumper adjacent.
Jumper-esque.
You know?
Jumper-esque, yeah.
Yeah.
But they're just like they're so like you can put a little red runner nymph that's like quite a bit bigger than the velvet in the little vial, and they will kill it.
Mm-hmm.
They'll jump on it, like they'll attack it. It is so interesting to watch them just do what they do, you know? It's so cool.
I set mine up. I put mine on sand after some asking around. I asked our boy Hannes, Mr.
Yeah, Hannes knows,
True
dude.
Spider. And he was like, well, most people just kind of keep them on like the same stuff we keep tarantulas on, just dry. And I'm like, well, that's going to be tough because this thing is so tiny. It'll blend right in with everything else.
Yeah, I would just, when mine were tiny like that, I would just literally drop the tiniest red runner nymphs in, and then they'd be gone. Like when I would check, it's like it's either there or it's not. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I set it up. That little T crib is like 2x3, and I set it up with some little reindeer moss and a little piece.
Thing,
and I put a little cork bark in there, and he's already like webbed up under the cork and sort of set up shop and
just chilling.
I just pop some of those flower beetle larvae in there periodically, and it's doing its thing.
Yeah, they're awesome little dudes. I really have grown fond of them, for sure. I've got a couple of those from Kara, a couple from Corey. Definitely awesome just to get a good group of those and see, like, I don't know what the hell pairing them is like, but like, I don't know, it could be worth trying. You know what I mean? Why not? Right? Can't be worse than centipedes.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
You sent me another Balfouri. Either you or Mike did.
Oh, that was probably Mike.
That's probably Mike. Now.
I didn't pack that. Yeah.
And then the other are Adam, and I think that's it. Again, I'm probably missing something, but male Metallica, homie is always.
Yeah, you got quite a bit down there to that you had to set up and get situated. You wouldn't let me send you any centipedes, which is a bummer, but I'll just keep asking.
I was like, I can't. I'm good with the Viridis. That's the extent of my centipeding. Sorry.
What about? Oh man, it's so sad. It's all right, dude. One day you'll get there.
I don't think so.
I'm gonna keep trying.
When What have you been doing? You've been feeding a bunch of babies.
Dude, feeding a bunch of HMAX, slogging through the HMAX. Sent a couple to the homies. And yeah, I don't even know. I think I probably have 40 that I'm not holding back still left. I'm not even sure. I'd have to go count. I gave Dritz, I think 55. I traded for some centipedes. So yeah, I traded those HMAX for some Java Black Merapis and some Scolopendra pisioflava. And then I also picked up some.
How many are you up to now at this point?
How many what?
Centipedes.
How many centipedes? I don't know. I have to go look.
I'm not even counting. I'm just
taking
them all.
I don't even. I have a lot. It's like because I have like a little like plastic type shelf, a little like probably like 2 by 18 by like 4 or 5 feet tall shelf that's for all my little centipedes, and then I've got a bunch of big centipedes on my Crebo, one of my Crebo cages that's on a shelf, and then a bunch on the. I got a lot now, and I don't know. I really liking the Southeast Asian stuff. I really am enjoying the whitebeards. I'm enjoying the Pisioflava. The Galapagos are super cool too. I got a couple dark phase ones, and I'm really having a blast with them. They're much they behave differently than the Southeast Asian ones, and I don't know. They love baby food. Trying to think what else. One of my whitebeard females is still buried. She's the freaking ginormous one that I got from Frank. So yeah, she's still buried. And one of my other giant one, I don't know, did I say this last time? She's on eggs. I found her on eggs. I don't think so. Yeah, I found her on eggs, dude. So yeah, I've got potentially a lot of centipedes on eggs, maybe a couple centipedes on eggs. I've got a couple paired Dihani. I gave Mike one of my paired orange leg females so that he can set her up and feed the shit out of her, so that he'll be able to witness that process.
Could you? So like, I know you can't really just pop in and check on those like whenever you want, right? Like you got to be.
So I don't.
Out about it.
Okay, so I found her on eggs, and I turned the lights off in the snake room, and I haven't turned them on since. And I don't know when I found her on eggs. I can look to see when I found the picture. Or when I took.
I'm just wondering, like, could you set up like a Wise camera or something?
So April 20th on 420. Hey. On 420. I found her on eggs, and that was the last time I turned the lights on in the room. And which was 10 days ago. But so I covered the entire like spider corner in craft paper, and she doesn't get any light. If I use light in the snake room, it's red light. I don't really talk very loud. I don't play music out loud. I don't touch her enclosure. I don't water her enclosure. I don't breathe too loud. I don't have a fan blowing on her. I don't have a fan blowing on any of my bugs anymore. Too much air currents can cause them to eat their eggs. Like, I'm so quiet when I'm in the snake room now, and it's going to be like that for maybe till
God knows how long.
The end of May, mid-June maybe, depending on temperatures and stuff. And I mean, dude, I was looking at her today. I checked on her, and she's still fucking like midnight last night, early this morning. I checked on her, so technically today, and she was like cleaning her eggs, and just like she's got a whole shit ton of them, dude. A whole shit ton of them, just sitting on them out in the open. Oh, I can actually send you a picture. Should I Facebook message that to you, Justin?
Yeah, that's probably the easiest.
Mr. Smith.
I'm just
Mr.
wondering,
Smith.
like, as sort of sensitive as they are to that kind of thing, would it be worth it to set up like a little nanny cam kind of deal where you can look with everything still covered up and sort of just check and see where
I
things are
totally
at?
could. Yeah, I
I
totally
don't know.
could.
You think night vision or that kind of like wavelength of light would?
I don't know. I'm just like, dude, it's not broken, so I'm not fixing it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I just sent it to you. Yeah. I just like, so like when I check on her, it's with a red light.
Just wrapped up.
That's a big centipede, dude. 'Cause that's a 20 cord enclosure. It's a big centipede.
Mm-hmm.
So she's on eggs.
What are you gonna
Just
do
kinda
about those
chilling.
holes when babies have them?
Yeah, I got to get the babies to happen first, dude. We're gonna get the babies to happen first, and then we're gonna deal with it. I'm literally not even breathing on that enclosure. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, at least with the other one I have that's bigger, she buried herself. So like, I have a little bit of a buffer. You know what I'm saying? Like this one, kind of just vibed out in the open, just chilling. It's like, okay. So hopefully I can get that to come to fruition.
Do you have any others that you're waiting on eggs that you've paired?
Yeah, my Dihani, my 2 orange leg Dihanis, and then the third one that I gave to Mike. So we've got 3 Dihani cooking, and then a bunch of my other Dihani that I got have just molted. Like a bunch of centipedes molted at once. I actually found, I don't know, here, I'll send you another video on the interwebs. Young Justin. They found a centipede molting with Mike, and it was like wiggling out of its little skin. It was kind of whack. Yeah, that's mama. That's mama on them eggs. Yeah, she's just like chilling.
What am I looking at?
That's a big centipede coiled around eggs.
In the video?
Yeah, right there. You don't see that?
The
You don't
red
see
one?
that big? Yeah. Are you colorblind, brother?
No, I'm not. I see
You don't see that centipede right there?
I see a black thing in the middle of the screen. I feel like I'm looking at the Chinese flag.
There's a centipede on eggs. Just know that.
I'm gonna take your word for it.
And there's that one molting, dude.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's Captain Mike. He now lives with Mike.
Mike has Mike.
Mike has Mike. Hopefully, Mike is going to pair 1 or 2 of his yellow legs this weekend.
Did they like bag out of it instead of going through?
He like wiggles out of it. He just like wiggles out of it. Then he eats it.
Oh, why does it
Yeah.
look like covered in wax?
I'm not sure, but it's kind of wonky.
These things are weird, man.
Yeah. It could be you.
It probably is. Probably. I have my Viridis. Those are cool. Don't know what I'm doing with them. I pop in some crickets periodically and they disappear. So
Yeah, you should get some Asian centipedes.
nah.
Like, what if I just sent you one, dude? That's all you gotta do. You just receive it in the mail.
No. They're too big. Like the 3-inch version that I have currently is plenty. I struggled with that in the first friggin'
No, it's because you
8
didn't
hours
listen.
of owning them. I did
It's 'cause you didn't
listen.
listen.
I listened a little bit.
After one got out.
That's different. Anna's here. I'm gonna pop her in.
Yeah, pop her in, dude.
Hey guys.
Hey, what's
Hello.
good?
Everything I hear, Smitty doesn't want large centipedes.
I don't want large centipedes, man. There's like seeing how fast the little ones are. Why would I want the 14-inch version of that?
I mean, at least you wouldn't lose the 14-inch version.
You underestimate my ability to lose things, dude. It's and if that got loose,
Yeah, that's okay.
I'm gonna save the cops some time.
You were
If
the
I
one
go
that burned down the house.
missing, my
Yeah.
wife hid my body somewhere.
Dude, I had one get out.
Jesus.
I had those little mesh lids you get on Superior Shipping Supplies. I was like, oh, I'm gonna get a bunch of those. Like, and what I'll do is with the little slings, like you just put a little bit. We use a tall cup, so the size it's enough dirt, but relative to the height of the cup, it's
In
like
proportion.
not that much dirt. You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, bet. Like I'll put this centipede in this cup that's taller than it is long, and therefore there won't be an issue with a potential ceiling climbing situation because again the walls are smooth plastic. Well, I was maintaining my centipedes, and there was a perfectly circular
Hungry caterpillar.
cherry head Dihani sized hole in the mesh, and I just dumped the deli cup out. I was like, let's see what's good in here, and there's just no sense. It's gone. So yeah, there's somewhere in the house. There's a cherry
I'll
red.
bet you that Viridis will show up at some point.
Yeah, I
And
don't know where
I'll
mine
be able
is.
I'll be able to claim ignorance and be like, oh, I don't know. That looks like one of the ones we have here in the yard. And
It's native, Ma. Don't worry.
it is. Technically, it is. I don't know. I honestly, though, like a big part of it too is I absolutely hate having to use tall containers because it feels so weird to have 3 inches of substrate.
So stop.
Freaking 10.
Why does that feel weird? It's functional.
Because it's
to
just
me. Talk to me
unnatural.
about
I
that.
don't like it. They're
So
not.
Justin, you don't
don't
have to
need
use
height.
tall containers, Justin.
I do. That's why
You don't have to. No,
fan.
you don't. But it's for your safety. It's for your safety. You can do whatever the hell you want, man. You could keep them in bags if you wanted. I wouldn't recommend it, but you could, right?
kind of bag.
You should just get some bigger centipedes, right? And then you'll be like, "Whoa, these are really cool. I can feed them baby food."
That's
And-
again. I told you that the other day too. I was like, great, another food item I have to now keep track of and deal with.
You don't have to, but you don't have to do that. You can feed
Not-
them
I'm not gonna
anything.
stash baby
Protein,
food all over the
chicken.
place. That stuff molds
Chicken.
in no time.
No, dude, you put it on a little lid or in a little bowl. You take a lick of it for yourself. You know what I
I'm
mean?
already
It's
dealing
good
with
for
roaches.
you, Justin.
I'm already dealing with mice. I'm already dealing with crickets. I'm already dealing
my
with peanut
God.
beetles.
They'll eat all of
More-
those.
I'm already dealing with minnows.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
have a
you
whole
could
group
feed
of
your
minnows.
centipedes minnows, dude. I fed my
literally
PCO
have a
flava
tank
some
they're supposed
tilapia.
to eat the minnows. I just now have a tank full of minnows and nothing to eat them. And I've
You
You
actually
didn't get rhino eggs?
no, not yet. Probably
okay.
won't. But
'Cause you
now I
didn't
have
cycle
a
'em?
tank of minnows, and I actually enjoy them. And
Oh, do
you
they have
know,
names?
no, there's too many of them.
Oh, okay. You should name them all Mike.
Maybe there's a couple that look like they're about to explode though, with babies.
Yeah.
That I have
Yeah,
Those
all
ones are
babies.
Michelle.
name of the fry.
Prison Michelle.
Prison Michelle. But yeah, I don't know, man. I appreciate centipedes for what they are, but they are those aren't my jam.
Could be your jam. Could be your
It's
jelly
kind of like
too.
retics. Like I love retics. I ain't never gonna own
No,
one.
so that's not Justin.
Not because
that's
of the
not
size,
Justin.
just
Justin,
because
stop,
it's like I
stop,
like that
stop.
they're cool. I like
Yeah.
a natural retic. That's a good looking snake. A lot of the morphs, like
Mhm.
that's a good looking snake.
Mhm.
I don't have any desire to have one. You know.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
somebody else wants to go crazy and own retics and a bunch of centipedes, I
Mhm.
support that decision.
Yep. You
If
got to
you're
keep
happy-
those in tall containers too.
it's so weird. It's so awkward
Mhm.
that they're in this giant tall enclosure and it's all empty space.
Justin, it's literally okay. So wait until you go in the snake room, right, and you see one standing up, pushing on the ceiling.
They're under the dirt.
Yeah,
never
but you're
move-
not
they
looking
never-
hard enough, brother. You're
I have
not
to go
looking at the
creeping
right
down if I
time.
want to see them. Anna, do you like centipedes?
I had one that unfortunately passed. We couldn't figure out what happened to it. But I didn't pick it out. It was a gift, which made it even sadder when it died. But I think that they're pretty cool. I'm more of a millipede girly than a centipede girly because I like things that move slowly and kind of look dumb.
The opposite of a centipede? Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes they move very fast and look very spicy. And
Yeah.
I like that about them. I didn't think I was going to. But seeing the way that they care for their young really changed my belief on centipedes entirely. The first centipede I ever saw that I absolutely loved, it was a photo, I think it might have even been Love Exotics, of a mint leg that was wrapped around eggs.
Yeah.
That was it. I was like, oh, this is a better mom than like most of the animals that I like. Maybe centipedes aren't all bad. And then watching
Until
them eat
they
babies,
eat 'em.
it's like,
I was
Okay,
going to
but-
say it seems extremely conditional.
yeah, but like how many tarantulas have we had that ate their sacks? We can't blame
That's
a
true.
centipede for us
I've
messing
had a
with
great rate there, and I've had precisely 0.
Yeah, because I stole your mature mail. I'm sorry, but
And
also not
I have
sorry.
another one. I just got one. Yesterday, day before?
Was it from
Yeah,
Mike?
true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
His second female was a mature male.
yeah. That's the one that he sent me.
Yeah,
Yeah. He's
Uh,
ready.
but yeah,
But she
my
was. Yeah,
Imera was my first spider to eat their sack, and I was gutted last year.
see, I don't. Maybe I'm lucky too in that regard of having been disappointed because keeping and breeding chondros makes you really good at being able to take kicks to the balls.
Yeah.
And so if something like that happened, I'd be like, par for the course. Cool.
Didn't
Yep.
expect it. Yeah, dude. Mike was at my house and we were looking over my centipedes, and one of my females, like the first ever centipede I got from Tom Patterson at the first ever White Plains Expo I ever went to. I paid $40 for her. She's a fucking demon. And there's a huge burrow with this big hole in it, and her back legs are sticking out. And I'm like, dude, she just molted. Let's give her some chicken or like some like large food item. You know what I mean? And so I pick up the cork, and she's just holding a bunch of eggs. And I'm looking at her, and she's just eating them. She's just eating them. I'm like,
Cool.
oh,
Yeah.
like she didn't even try to hide. Like, what the fuck? And then this whitebeard female just laying out in the open. Like, dude, what?
That was
What
a test.
kind of
She's testing
what
you.
kind of fucking instinct is that? Like, I know, like,
Really messed up game she's playing with.
what
you,
the
dude.
fuck is that shit, dude?
Like, oh, you want
Go
to
hide so I don't know where you are, and then I can infer. Like, do you know what I'm saying?
That is how I feel about our SCAL, our SCalciatum. I paired her mid-March, and she laid a sack on April 20th. So, like,
420.
yeah, I had 2 420 sacks, so that's cool. Since I don't partake in the other stuff, I had a, I guess, egg sack celebration. But our Escalciatum laid her egg sack on the ground. They're a hammock laying species, so typically you would see them kind of lofted. And from my understanding, that's both as a protection from predators and from monsoon weather. However, if I like flood her, it will flood her egg sac. So I almost killed it day one, because I was going to flood her since that's part of their breeding conditions, supposedly. Thank you, Dritz, for all of that. But yeah, then I saw this thing and I was like, that can't possibly be an egg sac. Sent a few photos, absolutely an egg sac in the worst place.
Real
But
bad spot.
unlike some of my other females, she's happily eaten twice while protecting her egg sac. So she'll be in
Yeah.
like a much better, I think, body condition than say our P. Victoria ladies who were a little bit rough post sac.
Looked like hammered shit.
The Phil,
Yeah.
you said
My,
with that HMAC that she laid that sack and she
Dude,
was like, it almost.
I
like,
was
wasn't
just handing her
a real
roaches.
sack at all.
It like she literally looks perfect, just like the picture I sent you. Hasn't changed. I'll just hand her a roach, she'll take it and eat it. It's like giving a baby a cookie. Like I don't even have to do anything. It just boop, boop.
Yep.
She doesn't move.
Yeah, our Escal, like, she has this like entrance to her burrow and she laid her sack right by that. So again, very questionable decision making
Interesting.
on where to put her sack. But I'll just set a feeder on that webbing and she'll break it open, take the feeder, and then web it right back up. So
Does it candle well? Does it look well? Good.
It is completely on the floor against her like
yeah.
work, so I
Okay.
can see nothing. I'm gonna assume that it's good because I witnessed the pairing and the insertions, and she laid 6 weeks after. So,
Yeah.
hopefully she molts right after this or double clutches since
Yeah.
he hasn't molted in a while. So it could also be that she was just like ready to either get ready to molt or drop a sack.
Mhm.
So it was
Yeah,
easy.
one of the two.
Mhm.
Yeah, those are a lot of fun. Are you going to keep them together for a little bit?
I don't know. I'm definitely considering pulling the mom early
Mhm.
so then I can decide what to do with the babies all together.
Mhm.
I'm worried about trying to pull the sack because again, it's attached to so much stuff. So pulling it early if they're like not ready, I would be worried. I've never like incubated an old world sack before.
Whoa, really? I did not know that.
Yeah. We paired
You should leave it
Balfouri.
with her.
Yeah, we paired Balfouri last year and she laid a beautiful hammock and took care of it. And on day 55, I saw this black spot and I was very concerned because she should have ripped it open by then. And she had tried to rip it open and failed that day. And then I was like, okay, this hack has got to be bad. We're 55 days in. And so I opened it up on the lid and a bunch of baby spiders come pouring out, all like eggs with legs and first instar. And I call Amy at Fang Hub in tears. I'm like, Amy, there are spiders everywhere. What do we do? And she's like, you pick them up with your hands. And I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. Like, these are just babies. Just pick them up with your hands, dummy. And so I just dumped them back in with mom and she was really great with them.
Yeah. Well, how did she fail? Was there something wrong with her fang? Or like did it just not work? Like what happened there?
It was like she tore and it didn't tear apart. It was a very thick sack.
Yeah, the hammock sacks are so crazy how they're woven. The HMAC is like when I was rehousing her, it was like really fibrous material.
Tyvek or something.
Yeah, it was Kevlar actually.
Yeah, they
I
seem to
have
have
no
a lot
frame
of
reference.
layers for sure.
So
Not yet, you don't.
not yet. I don't know.
When are you pairing those Imira?
I don't know. That's I got it, and I asked Phil and I talked to Mike in our little chat thing, and then I asked Dritz because it was like that was the question I had was okay. Like I've heard of people receiving males and like same day, next day, pot in the female, see what happens.
You could.
Like
you could.
What standard procedure? Like what do most people do? Like should I just let them chill for a couple days, pop them in this weekend or something? Like I was planning to offer them some food, like get them sort of set. And and Dritz was basically like, when was the sperm web made? And so I asked Mike, and Mike was like, I don't know. So I was like, okay, cool. And so then Dritz told me how to set that up, to I guess encourage it. I don't
So
know.
there wasn't a sperm web in the cup he was in when I packed him. That I can tell you.
Okay.
Because he was not. There was like I would document it as trace webbing. That's what I would write. Trace webbing. So less than minimal.
Mm-hmm.
So he did
So I
not
don't-
make a sperm web.
Yeah, I don't know.
That being said, Mike didn't pair that male with his female.
Correct.
So
Correct.
anything that happened below the burrow, we wouldn't have known. I will say
He
that
could be loaded.
he could be loaded. I received Mike's male that he had paired with his other female, and I paired him, and he made a sperm web the next day. So
After pairing? After it?
yeah, because he'd been with Mike for a while, so I paired him, and then he made another sperm web because he was
Whoa.
empty.
Whoa, what a guy, dude.
Yeah,
So that was something that I was curious about too, and I had brought this
That's
up
interesting.
with Phil and Mike. Was like, if I took some webbing or some leaves or whatever from that female's tub and put them in with that male, similar to how like people breed carpet pythons. Like if they really want to get a male going, you take the shed of another male or a female or both, put it in that setup with that male, and it's gonna like set him into freaking overdrive. And so I was wondering if you did something similar, introducing those pheromones or whatever in with the male, if that would sort of trigger some sort of response to do something like that. So I don't know. I mean, on paper, I guess it makes sense, but
I mean, you've got a couple of days if you're planning on pairing this weekend. It can't hurt to provide some of her nonsense, essentially, whatever she's been using to make her trap, if she's tossed any out. It can be kind of hard to grab fresh webbing from an Imira, I've noticed, because they tend to like throw out their junk, but then that stuff is like, I guess, kind of stale. But as far as the pairings that I've done, we've done, I think, 12 or 14 pairings this year so far. And Imira is the only one that I dumped directly into the enclosure because I'm kind of ethically against that version, because I started, my first solo pairing was GBB. Juju and I paired my first GBB, M. balfouri, Pyrminia, and he also did some like scorpion pairings and some other stuff like predating me. But for all of those, it was kind of a like, let the male happen upon the female. And for our GBB pairings now, we take kind of an even bigger step back, and I release the male into I call it the fuck bin, but it's like a bigger enclosure, and we put her enclosure inside of it, lid on, and let him just pace for 3 days, for a week, for 2 weeks, however long it takes him to kind of get settled and start webbing around her enclosure. The particularly like good males will kind of web over the lid of the female's enclosure too. You can just feel all of their drag line. It's everywhere. And by then, you know that the female definitely knows the male is there. And I find that my GBB females and other females like that are much more receptive that way.
Interesting.
And that I only find is especially important for females that tend to be a little bit chompy.
Especially GBBs, right?
GBBs, H. formosus as well. So we did pumpkin patch, and Victor at Exotic Me.
Wow.
Yeah, he sent us a very fresh male that still like could walk on smooth surfaces, just an utter champ. And we gave him time to like find his bearings. And by the time I opened the enclosure and let him do his thing, my girl came out of the other side of her enclosure. He was like digging in something that was not an entrance. And she just stood there and watched him. And in every other experience that I've seen of these spiders, the female absolutely would have just jumped them for fun and eaten them.
Yeah.
But she was like waiting for him to figure out that she was behind him.
Interesting. Just from that like prolonged exposure.
That is like how I feel about it. I don't know if like how the spiders feel about it, but it definitely like helps me feel more prepared, and I have had better results doing that.
Okay, cool. That's very interesting. And it's also good to know that you could just kind of just put that male in, dude. See if he
I literally dumped that male into my girl's enclosure, and within 30 seconds he'd figured out what he was doing, even though he'd like been dumped out of a deli cup, and he was tapping on her cork. Both Imira pairings were under 5 minutes from introduction to completion. So
What a guy.
Yeah, Imira, for me so far, with just the 3 pairings, so obviously not a huge data set, it's one of those pairings that is like a feel-good pairing. Because after a GBB, which I might be sitting in front of 2 GBBs and for like 10, 15 hours, I could read like 3 or 4 books in the time that it takes some GBBs to pair. But Imir, you just like dump him in and he's like, all right, I got this. And then ready, steady,
Makes it
done.
happen.
Yeah, and that is, I guess, the sort of the ethical debate of like males they have one job, and so it's like, do you wait and give them some time to do their thing, or do you just do what they would do naturally and show up and get their job done? And
He's
you know,
put him on the
I think
front door, dude.
I think that's mostly just going to boil down to personal opinion on that. You know, which way is better, and I'm sure there's going to be exceptions with certain species where maybe there's a little more intricacy or detail involved in prep and stuff like that. So I don't know. I was like, what do? I have him. I'll pair him, but I don't want to pair him if he's just going to get murked. You know,
You can protect him too, dude. You got your paintbrush, you know.
Yeah.
You'll probably find that, especially for your first pairing, that putting the female's enclosure inside a bigger enclosure with hides in the substrate will help you, because when the male is done, he's going to pop right out.
Right. He's going to take off.
He's going to flee the scene,
I
dude.
find it not enjoyable, the idea of spiders on my floor. So even for pairings, when I'm not like leaving them to their own devices, I'll do it in a bigger enclosure, which is another form of protected contact. So it's just giving an extra barrier between spider and floor. But all of my girls have been very sweet with the boys. Like I find them to be such a funny species, because all 3 of my females have done this thing where with their back, right, and left legs, their L4 and R4, they will bow their legs in and push their abdomen up so the male can't reach it. And it's like they're silly little girls. And then the male will dive completely under, and it looks like he's been maunched. He's so far underneath, and then he'll pull her abdomen forward. And it causes just this amazing spread, because when the female's abdomen is pulled forward, her back rears up very much, like way more than it was before. But it isn't like an aggression thing.
Right.
He has physically yanked her entire abdomen forward. And it's pretty funny to watch. But I'll send you those 2 recordings. They're both like 2 minutes. I don't know if I sent them to you already, but as far as a first pairing goes, I could not recommend a better Old World for that, other than like maybe Balfouri, because people just toss them together as well.
And that seems to be sort of the general consensus from people in TA and you. And I think Dave Fisher even did a video not that long ago on Paramira, and he was basically like, these are a great species for that. You know, if it's a first time thing, like these are fantastic. So, you know, it makes sense. And I love that species. That's they're
cool. They're cool.
Freaking
for sure.
Gorgeous, dude. I like them more than Poker Piece, personally.
It hurts my feelings. It's okay. I love Imira. I love their trapdoors. I love H. Polka Piece too. My girl is definitely gravid, and I hope she doesn't yank my chain again, because this is the 3rd or 4th time I've attempted to pair her. And one time she cohabbed with a male for a week and then nothing. And then another time I put a male in, and he was like kind of old, and she just killed him.
Yeah.
And then I got this most recent male from Dritz, and he kind of taunted her out of her burrow onto a piece of cork, did his duty, and shoved her off the cork, and then she just went back into her hole, and then they were done.
Oh my god, stud, gangster,
total stud.
What cracks me up is like you have those one individuals that like are super timid and like scared to get in there and do it, and then you have the ones that are fucking Leroy Jenkins, like running straight down into the burrow.
Yeah.
Like I'm not coming out alive, but I'm going to make it worth it. Like I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
yeah. Those guys.
Going for it, dude. Just
oh man, dude. There's a fine line between bold and stupid. Okay.
Yeah. I wish that our B. Amelia mature males had a little bit more of that bold / stupid behavior.
Tough situation on the brachypelma front over there.
Absolutely.
That was, you want to go in depth a little bit about that?
Yeah, I had a male that I purchased penultimate last year, and he matured as a male. Never
It
really
was
tapped.
2006. I had just bought it
Yeah,
as an adult
right.
male. It
I
hadn't
wish.
matured
No, this was just
yet.
last year. And I didn't anticipate that either of my B. Amelias would molt, but I cohabbed him for weeks. And I tried flooding, I tried chilling, I tried heating, like I tried slight amounts of mist in the evening because there was some like evening dew during their like breeding period. I got nothing. I tried him with both my females. Dritz sent another male that he said, listen, this guy is a hit it and quit it. He'll get in and out.
Designated hitter. Yeah.
And I put him in with my female, and he acted the exact same way as the other one. Didn't tap, didn't try anything.
What does that mean?
She's the problem.
Well, and then out of nowhere, both of my females molted. They weren't due,
Whoa.
but they molted
Whoa.
within like a week of one another.
Whoa.
So now they're still cohabbed with both of those males. The males both ate in their enclosures. The females are eating. And we'll see if anything happens. I'll probably try the chilling and flooding again just to see if anything changes. Maybe switch the males with the opposite females to see if like a change in scenery does anything. But hopefully they're just gonna like get it on while I'm sleeping because they live with those females now. So like something will happen. I feel better now that I know that they're freshly molted. Because it means that we've got probably years before their next molt.
How big, if you're
That is-
cohabbing
that
them,
is
like what's your
crazy.
setup like if you're keeping them together like that? Are you doing something larger so they have more space to get away from each other? Or is it pretty
Nope. They're
Okay.
just both in large critter keepers with like a lot of space to burrow.
Mhm.
The males won't. One of the males will not enter a female's burrow, and the other one entered a female's burrow once, ran her all the way to the bottom of her burrow, and then she slapped him, and he has not been back down there. So,
Stud.
we'll see. These two males don't have a like next spot to go to after this, so I'm hopeful. Well, I'm obviously hopeful that the males don't get maunched, but both of these girls have been very like kind almost with the males. I don't have a good word for that because kind is obviously like a human word.
Mhm.
But they've been very gentle. They haven't really
Tolerant,
yeah,
accommodating.
super tolerant. I mean, they both molted with males in their enclosures. So
That's crazy to think
they're
about.
like not concerned.
What- Poor simp, dude.
I know. I
Poor
have a
simps,
good
man.
picture of Juju holding one of them accidentally. She just like walked onto him, and she's like pretty big. And this was like 4 years ago, but she was like getting into her new enclosure, and she just decided to like walk all on him. And she's like bigger than his hand at that point.
Wow.
So she's molted twice, I think, since then. So they don't molt very often. So hopefully now that we're on the right side of the molt, we will see some Amelia babies.
I need more classy. I've got that pair because I won that male on Palm Street from Dritz, and I've got that female that's. I feel like by the time he's ready, she's going to be prime.
Nice. We
Dude,
have
I
a male as
freaking love
well.
that species.
Just an utter wackadoodle. Like very weird compared to all of my other brackies. I had an albiceps that had about as much energy as this boy does, but he's just funny. He's very quick to like jump, which is unlike most of my others. He doesn't really kick hairs like my Bomies do, but he's very quick to be like, I don't want you here. Please leave.
No, I've noticed mine are pretty skittish overall. I think like a lot of stuff, like once they get to a certain size to where predation is much less of an issue, they seem to, I think, mellow out some. But when they're still young, man, it's like, good Lord, calm down.
Yeah, I think this boy's probably close to 4 inches.
Okay.
And he's just busy. He's just a little busybody whenever you're in his enclosure, and he will fill in burrows and rest in his water dish.
Nice.
So he has an
Wow.
emotional support water dish and a normal water dish.
Wow. What a guy. He's like so cultured, you know?
Yeah, he's one of the only spiders I have that have one of those like Petco ceramic water dishes, and that's the one that he uses for resting in and sitting in.
His little throne,
Yeah,
his little chair.
his porcelain throne for sure.
You should get him some 3D printed toys.
Yeah, he might use a ping pong ball. I'll see. If any of my spiders would like do silly things with a ping pong ball, it would be him or my RCF Rosé, who rolls her water dish on its side from one side to the other of her enclosure.
Why do they do that?
I can't say. I think that there's something to be said for like practice behaviors. The way that they carry, sometimes they'll carry them and it almost looks like they're carrying a sack, which is very cute. But also they're just like moving stuff. They're little excavators and they're going to move it however they can.
Interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, that my RCF is a rescue from somebody that said she didn't have enough time to hold her spider every day anymore.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. And that spider, she held that rosé every single day. And I have checked out her kind of behavior with a paintbrush to her back leg just to see. And she has never seemed like she would be very interested in being handled by me, which is totally fine because I don't typically hold my spiders. But for her in particular, I wanted to see because, like, what if there was something to it? This woman who's held her spider every day. But I think it also may have been that she was trying to get out of the enclosure that she was in, which had a lot of like, dead crickets, cocoa fiber, the kind of standard 1990s keeping experience. This woman like loved her spider so much though. And I feel super lucky that like TA and we were able to take her in. Her name is Frankie. And she is just a stunning G Rosé.
I have one. I took it to there's a Harry Potter themed thing they do every fall down in Savannah in Georgia that I go to and help a buddy with because he brings a bunch of reptiles and stuff. And I brought my rose hair last year. And she was pretty chill. Like, it's funny because the year prior I got a curly hair, an adult, and like I wouldn't have, same thing. Like, you go anywhere near that thing with any object, doesn't matter if it's food or not. Like, she was whipping around and grabbing it and taking it. So I was like, I got it to do educational stuff when we did this, and I was like, I'm not bringing this fucking thing, dude. Not kids aren't getting near this bastard. Like, this thing's nuts. But then I got that rose hair from the same friend that I do that with, and I was like, I held her at home a little bit just to kind of test the waters a little bit, and I was like, okay, she's cool. So she haired me a little bit that day, but other than that, it was
itchy.
Yeah, a little bit.
You
not as itchy as I've been the last.
I was gonna say, what happened recently, Justin? What happened recently?
I got styrmied.
You got styrmied?
I got styrmied.
Yeah, how'd that go?
In the weirdest place. So like on my palm, all up in here, and then on this finger, like in between these two fingers somehow. I like right in here and in here.
Yeah, I'll stick with the
centipedes, the only two spots. And like it's not even it's literally from just taking the tub off the shelf to feed him.
That's so scary. Imagine if it's haired you directly. Imagine if it actually tried to kick hairs at you and got into your mucous membranes. Oh my good God.
So he would, like, if I took the tub down and set it down, he would kick pretty much initially. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I know he's going to do it just to kind of get it out of the way. But the problem is like, when I open that tub, I feel like they're still kind of floating around. So they get on the latches and stuff. And so when I went and grabbed it, it's covered in hair. And so I pull it. So I still love those things though, dude. I don't care. It's irritating, but it's really not like to the point where I'm like Phil, where I'm like, I'm just not going to keep those. Like, it's not going to stop me. I got a box of gloves now that I brought from work. That when I got it, stir me, and he needs to get rehoused into something bigger anyways. That's not such a pain in the ass to open and cause him to kick so much. Because my apophysis is in like a 10-gallon. I've got one of those glass fish tank lids that I can open and close without freaking him out.
Right. It's money.
The latch tub is a little different because it's like, a lot of vibrations banging around, all that stuff. So
yeah,
but yeah, I mean, it's
Paraphoses, like, you probably will find that they kick less with more space.
Yeah, I've noticed that with the Apophysis for sure. Like now that he's been set up in that tank now for probably going on a year, and he doesn't kick hardly at all. That Sturmy,
He's a unit, dude.
He is. I love that thing, dude.
He's a freaking boss.
Oh
my god!
I want more. I don't know that I want a lot more, just because of the amount of space they'd be taken up in comparison to, like, the Gabonensis.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is irritating, but it's not to the point to where I'm like, I'm never keeping these things again. Like, it's annoying at best. Do I want to, like, give them butterfly kisses? No, but maybe I just gotta get really, really hit hard by them to get the message across that I need to be like Phil and not have these. But I don't know.
I wouldn't wish that on you, dude. Did you see the picture of Corey Brocken?
Yeah,
when he got it in his goddamn eye.
That's
well, like
terrible.
just how much these have lingered. Again, like that would suck.
Dude, it's for real,
they don't
man.
go
Those
away.
hairs are no. They're like little spears. They're like little
But
micro hooks.
I was curious, and Anna might be able to chime in, but like if you took like a diluted solution of Nair, you think maybe that would...
I don't know, but I would say that, like, I would read the directions on it to know if, like, because the hairs, like, tarantula hairs are piercing you where you wouldn't have a hair follicle. So I'm not sure, like, if it's open enough that you would be getting Nair into your body.
Yeah.
Versus, like, maybe it would be worth it, but I would be scared. But I'm scared of Nair in general because that seems weird that it dissolves your hair and not the rest of you.
Yeah.
So that's that. I mean, I know that, like, it's a standard use for humans, but you'd have to be willing to try. And depending on how long ago you got haired, like, that is like fully encased in your
little blisters and stuff have formed over everything, and
I will say that I kept a Sturmy. We got a rescue Sturmy. It was in this like 2.5 gallon aquarium with no substrate, no water.
Oh, geez.
Fully dry, 7 legs. Just this horrendous, like, disaster. And I received him from my pet sitter who had organized the rescue. Wonderful pet sitter at my old place. And I was still at Juju, and the guy was like, he's in this enclosure. It doesn't have any latches. And I was like, can you just put whatever heavy thing you can find and put it on top of that? Heavy book, piece of cork, a rock, whatever. I don't want a Sturmy walking around my house. And dump like 16 ounces of water in there. So by the time I got back, he was looking like a little bit better. He molted twice with us before he matured out. And I never got haired. And he was in one of those latch bins for a while. It was like his quarantine setup because I wanted something that would hold humidity very well. But after he molted once, he was gigantic. And that 20 quart thing was laughably small.
Dude, that Sturmy isn't even that big. And like that in the Apophysis, I just open those tanks and just look at them like these are the closest thing to dinosaurs that we're going to get with a spider. Like, it's just such a freaking impressive animal. And like I've said before, like I never really got the hype on Theraphosa in general because I was like, okay, yeah, they're big and they're giant, they're brown, like big whoop. But then I got that Apophysis and started raising it, and I was like, I was sold pretty quickly. I was like, okay, now I get it. Now it makes sense. Like, these things are freaking awesome, and they only get bigger and bigger, and I love them. Hair or not, I don't care. They're fun.
Dude, we had to pair them. When we were pairing them, we did it in a 41 quart tub. It was like we were like supervising chihuahuas. They were so big. Beyblades. Yeah, dude. It was like we were playing with Beyblades with our friends.
Are you old enough to remember Beyblades?
Yes, Justin. Yes, I had Beyblades as a kid.
I had a whole like tackle box full of Beyblades, dude.
Yeah, dude. Me too, dude. What the heck? I'm not that young. I'm not 12.
Me and Michael talk about like music and movies, and Phil's like, I was like 6 when that came out, and I'm like, Jesus.
Well, yeah, because you guys are, a little bit older than I am, but I'm not, that.
Back in my day.
Back in my day, I remember.
Do we want to get into like ICU stuff, or we want to get into TA?
Yeah,
stuff?
yeah, dude. No. Talk about the Akai advisory. I really would like to hear about that.
It's in the same vein as like what we were just discussing with that rescue Sturmy.
I would agree.
So the backstory is
Set the scene, Justin. Set
was
it.
Last week?
Set it.
I walked into the room that morning to turn on the lights and stuff because I don't have automatic shit. I turn it all on by hand.
Wait. Hold on. What? You don't have timers in your room?
I have timers in my room.
What the hell kind of life do you live? I have smart plugs. I could turn everything on and off from my phone.
Bad thing. By having to do it myself, that forces me to look at what's going on around the plug and what's going on in the cages. I don't just be like, oh, the lights will kick on, it's all good, and not have to set foot in my room for an indefinite period of time. I gotta go in there and turn everything on, which means I gotta
go in there and clean Crevo shit every day. I need the lights to turn on when they turn on. How do you cycle light? How do you light cycle animals?
I go in and turn them on, and then I turn them off at night before I go to bed.
Dude, you're fried. That's cooked.
It is what it is. Maybe I'm just a pilgrim. I don't know. Yeah.
Justin, man. All right, well, continue.
So I walked in and I looked up because the Akaya are, at least the two females, are on top of a cage next to the Sturmy and the female Metallica and a female Regalis. And I thought it was a molt at first because it was just like a leg, but I'm like, that's not a molt. So I pulled it down, and that female Akaya was like in the corner, nearing like full death curl done. Like motion was really limited. I was like, shit, something's wrong. So I did what I just remember reading on arachno boards.
He called 911.
Yeah, called 911. I took her out and I set her up in an ICU. So I've got a deli with a not lightly damp but not soaking wet paper towel, and I set her in that, and I had to go to work because I had to drop the kid off at school and stuff. So I set her on the table in that, and then went home, or I went to work, came home thinking that she was going to be toast because I was like, there's no way she's bouncing back because she looked bad, like
pretty rough. I
put up
sent
zero
a picture
fight
of her, dude.
moving, put up no fight putting her into the container. Like I was like, I fully expected that spider to be done.
She should be trying to kill you. Yeah.
Right. In pure Bermuda Kylos fashion. Got home and she was actually looking pretty good. Like much more reactive. If I touched the container, like there was a reflex. Some movement, not a ton. She wasn't like doing circles or anything, but she was definitely in a much better spot than she was that morning. So I sent pictures to Juju, and I think he forwarded them to Anna. And I was like, I just put an ICU together because I thought that's what people did. I thought that was still like standard procedure. And Juju was like, not really. And so I asked him to elaborate on why. And then Anna chimed in as well. But that female got her watered. I put a water dish in there with her. She started drinking from that pretty much immediately because I put her right next to it. Put some pre-killed food in there. That slowly kind of disappeared. She eventually went back into her burrow, and she's perfectly fine now. She's 100% back to normal. I still need to do a substrate change because I think a big part of the issue was the substrate I was using in that setup. Once it dries out, like it almost turns into like a brick. Not necessarily hydrophobic, but it like almost takes on the shape of what you're keeping in it. And like, it doesn't rehydrate simply. Like it doesn't fully absorb all the way into it. It wasn't, it was zapping all the moisture out of there. So Anna sent some stuff to change in the setup, which now that she's sort of back on the up and up, I'll do, because that was another thing. Well, I was like, should I go ahead and change all this stuff up now? Like, she's already stressed. I don't want to put her back in there and then her be like, everything's all jacked up. Where'd my burrow go? I'm just gonna die. So I wanted to make sure that she was like back on the up and up before I started uprooting everything and rearranging stuff. So I was like, I'll give her a few days to readjust and get back to normal. And I am going to do a full substrate change, make some adjustments that Anna had mentioned. So I'm gonna do some deeper substrate, slope towards the back, change up the cork hide and how that's set up. Because I gave them nice cork rounds and stuff, and then turns out they just don't give a shit about them and don't use them. They decided to burrow under them and behind them, not actually in them. So I need to make some adjustments there, but I don't know. I mean, for whatever reason, the ICU, I guess, kept her going at least for a couple hours until I could get there and get her fully set straight with some water. But do you want to
Yeah,
elaborate on that?
absolutely. So we think that the kind of ICU myth starts that with that a wet environment is meant to like immediately help with dehydration. But unfortunately, spiders aren't absorbing like a lot of water from their hydrophobic outsides. Their exoskeleton is not taking in that water. And a waterlogged paper towel is actually covering their book lungs as well. So you're adding like
Whoa.
additional risk, right? So if a spider can't lift its body, it's just resting on wet, sopping paper towel and covering its own lungs. So you're adding like additional concern there.
Waterboarding itself.
Yeah.
And also, they need to intake that water directly via their mouth parts. And if you have the option between a sopping wet paper towel or soaking wet dirt or a water dish, and imagine a spider's mouth parts and their kind of trachea is like a straw. If you were to stick a straw in dirt and try to suck water out of it, you're going to get like not a lot of water. Same situation with a paper towel. But if you stick a straw into a cup of water, you're able to get a lot more hydration very quickly. And the same is going to be true for a spider, which is one of the reasons also that we really say that water dishes are not just a nice to have. They should be in pretty much every single spider enclosure, because while a spider can suck water out of dirt, like maybe we don't want to make them do that. Unless the spider is like impacted by something directly in the enclosure, like let's say there's mold or contaminants or like gross feeders, or if they have like a fall or an injury, you typically want to leave them inside their environment. Same way that you noted that you didn't really want to change things up when your spider was struggling, removing them from their home can be a very similar stressor. If there is kind of contaminant injury, some kind of growth or spider disability, we would probably intervene and make some like specialized hospital setup. But typically at that point, we're still using like substrate in a water dish versus wet paper towel. We have put spiders with injuries directly on dry paper towel, similar to a quarantine tank for a snake. You might use paper towel so you can see like, is this spider leaking hemolymph? I'll see that much better on paper towel than I would on dry substrate. So like ICUs are kind of a few things happening at once. It has aided with spiders, right? Like you saw your spider do a little bit better in the ICU. We didn't take into account like all the other risk factors by like putting something in 99% hydration when they probably didn't need all of that. But it has worked. And some spiders still die in those ICUs, right? And we just say, oh, well, they were going to die anyway. But if we had put all of those spiders from those ICUs into hospital tanks or left them in their enclosure, if the enclosure was suitable with a water dish, we may have seen a higher percentage of those spiders recover.
Well, it was interesting because I put that water bowl in there and I put it, right next to her, kind of buried it a little bit so it wasn't sitting higher above her. And I mean, she went straight to it.
Yeah.
And she was drinking out of that thing straight for a handful of minutes. So I think the big thing was just serious dehydration because that tank had just gotten too dry. The soil was still damp sort of in the center, but I think spiders, like they operate on like a hydraulics type system. If they're dehydrated, they can't move. Like they sort of seize up and
they're beef.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So we do see a much higher success rate with the water dish. And an interesting thing is that I would say that we receive more cases about AVICs being dehydrated than any other species.
Really?
And I think that it comes from it's often from poor husbandry, right? So when we see avics that are kept in tanks with stagnant, wet air, which is like tends to
Yeah.
happen sopping substrate, people think, oh, this spider came from a very humid environment. I need to make their tank really humid. And then we see an avic that starts to fade. They stop eating, they stop drinking, they get dehydrated in a tank that's wet.
Mhm.
So it's wild to see. So we have that same thing. Like we have to take the avic, put it in something dry, give it a water dish. Whereas if we put them in an ICU and did the exact opposite thing of what they need, like we can easily kill avics. And with your Flamingo chylus, I would think that while an ICU isn't the right strat, it's not a strat that was as inherently dangerous as it would be for maybe an avic, which
Mhm.
that like wet stagnant air is an absolute killer for avics. So your mileage may vary with how successful an ICU is, but safety wise, there are better answers. Which you found.
I think too, it's a matter of just getting lucky that I saw her when I did and did what I, that
Mhm.
could be the majority of the factor there. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that the ICU was the make or break thing, but
Hydration
I
was.
don't know. Yeah,
Yeah.
got lucky because I
What-
was like a couple days before I saw her and she was out and she looked fine. I mean, she needed some food, but that was about it. And so then when I saw her sort of curled up in the corner, I was like, well, what the fuck? And I'm attached to my Akaya especially because I love those things. And so I was like really irritated. And I'm like, you were fine. Like, what are you doing? Stop dying. Don't do that.
And she did. She stopped.
She did. And immediately, like after she had some water and was drinking and stuff, like I went in there to move the bowl closer to the burrow entrance, and she immediately like threw her things. I was like, "Oh, you're fine." I was like, "You're back to normal. You're good." Like immediately throwing up threat poses and stuff. I was like, "Jesus, you're fine." She was faking the whole time. That's what it was. She was just trying. She's
what
playing
what does your typical hospital tank hospital setup look like?
I would say that we have kind of like two options, whether we have substrate or paper towel, and it kind of depends on the situation. For something that's
Right.
injurious, typically I would go paper towel. And that's going to be some kind of Tupperware with good ventilation, that dry paper towel, a water dish, and a small hide, whether that's a half cork round or like a little plastic, one of those black snake hides, something where
Yeah.
they can get away from the light. Because leaving them completely exposed when they're already struggling is adding another like pretty big stressor that we don't need to do. I would say that as typical with spider hides, like don't do something that you can't lift up over the spider. So don't put like a whole cork round in there, because then when you need to check on the spider, you have to like poke them out of the hide, and that's not ideal. But yeah, that would be common if we had something like a fungal issue or some kind of injury to a spider, whether like sometimes for a lost leg that they didn't self-autotomize correctly. Like those will continue to leak because they didn't seal it correctly. So you would have to close it yourself.
I remember we talked about that when my Balfouri kicked her leg.
Yeah.
She just molted. What is it, Thursday? She probably molted on like Monday night, Tuesday morning. You can almost not tell that she lost a leg. Almost. It's like so cool. Just in one molt. Like she wasn't that big, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so she's got like a little skinny post-molt leg, but I believe what had happened was she had her leg like in a vent hole.
It caught.
and
Yeah, it got caught.
She got a little bit spooked and she ran and her leg popped right off and like made a sound.
Yes, because I was
leg
like, yo, what the fuck? Yeah, dude, I remember that. Yep. But now she looks like basically back to normal. Yeah, almost. She actually looks like a gummy bear, super soft and blue and squishy. So she's hardening up.
Wish I saw mine more.
How big is it?
Sad.
The first one that I got from Phil is probably 2.5 inches, 3 inches. Not an adult. Not a baby.
It's getting
not a girl. Not quite yet a woman.
Justin.
I see my girls a lot, but I think that's because they're both paired. So one of my girls is like out perched on the top of her highest piece of cork, and she's just been sitting there. I'm really hoping she doesn't like lay her sack against the ceiling. That would be very unpleasant for me, because I have her right now. I have her like non-baby lid on. I have a lid with very small holes, a ton of them, for when she has babies. And then I have her current lid, which is, I want to say that they're like bigger than an eighth, maybe small, maybe they're 3 1/4 or 3/8 inch holes to get her lots of ventilation, because they do experience a monsoon season. So I don't want to have so few holes that the water can't evaporate, because I don't want her living in a swamp. But the babies would absolutely walk right out of that those holes.
Yeah.
She needs her like baby lid for when they show up.
I had that issue with the HMAX.
Since we're talking about, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I put her enclosure in a bigger tub with a bunch of moss around it, and the babes just hid. They just hid in the moss. It was so easy. It was so easy getting them out.
So they just walked out.
Yeah, they just walked out, and then we're in the big tub in the moss. That's what Dritz told me to do, and I did it, and it worked out great.
I would rather that not be my experience, but I have cats, so I like have a fear of like fear for my cats, especially with old worlds. So that's why, like with the SCAL sack, we're not letting them. I won't have an SCAL on my wall. That's just not in the cards. But yeah, like we pull most of our sacks for that reason. It's not really worth the risk to me for the other animals in my home. And I fear that it is a rite of passage for many people who have breeding projects that they end up with baby spiders on their walls. Because most of the people that I've met have a story. Dritz's most recent mass exodus of the P. cambridgei.
Oh yeah, that was Smitters had one of those too, man. Those pecans there.
Genetic, dude, because that one
dude
roamed.
How did it get out?
Well, Justin is a big man in a small room with less than average eyesight, and there may or may not have been a small cambridgei that was quick. That may or may not have been sent to Justin by myself in a box. That Justin may or may not have been trying to rehouse quickly without a bigger tub, potentially.
Cliff Notes version is it jumped off the table and onto the floor, and I didn't see which direction it went, and so it was gone for 24 hours. But then I saw Homie chilling on the ceiling and caught him again.
Oh, look at you! You caught him.
He went straight to the hole, straight to solitary, straight to the hole, straight to jail.
Straight to video. The fellow's like, look at that little motherfucker staring at me.
Yeah, dude, he was just on the ceiling.
He's just hanging out right there. Like, unfortunately, like I'm tall enough to touch the ceilings in my room, like with really no effort. So I was like,
yeah, same. Easy.
I can't reach my ceilings. Maybe I can reach them on a step stool, but at that point, if I'm like 2 or 3 steps up on a step stool and I'm trying to grab a spider off the ceiling, I don't think that ends well for me or the spider. So for rehousings like that, I actually used a bag method with both containers in like a gallon Ziploc bag. And I just coaxed the spider right in. I did that with a like nearly 4-inch tappy the other day too. He went into like one of those big Ziploc bags for like sweatshirts that have the like vacuum part so you can seal it in. And I put his entire enclosure in there and popped him into a vial, which was helpful because it was one of those enclosures that has the rubber band like enclosure. It's like put together with rubber band.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how to open it. And then I didn't know how to take it apart because this was a collection sale from a community member that is like cutting their collection in half because they are expecting a 2-legged family member very soon. And so they didn't have the time for all these spiders. So I drove to them, picked up half their spiders, and I've been shipping them to the people who have bought them. But that tappy gave me the runaround the first time I tried to ship him. I could not get him out of the enclosure because it was just such a weird shape. So over the course of like 3 weeks, I was just like taking his decor away one piece at a time. So he was just in there with his water dish and a piece of cork. And finally I got him out. But the bag method turned what would have been probably a half-hour session of me trying to get him out and maybe chasing him around my room into this like 3-minute thing that was very like stress-free for me. The spider walked right into the vial. It wasn't like a whole ordeal for the spider either, which I think is one of that like unsung like praises for protected contacts that can be much less stressful for a spider than kind of running them out of their enclosure, trying to catch them in a bathtub. But yeah, even the bathtub is a type of protected contact. So I feel like a lot of people are using like protected contact methods and they don't even know.
Well, you use
Justin,
that same method
maybe you should
for shipping too, right? Like you've mentioned using that because
Mhm.
that was my big question. Like I got to send this male chordatus to Dritz, and I'm like, how the hell do you get this thing in a vial? Like it's a decent sized spider going into a smallish vial. Like how do you do it? Like how do you get it to go where you need it to go in a vial lined with stuff? You know, it's and so when you mentioned the bag thing, I was like, well, that makes complete sense, and that also makes
Yep.
it so much easier.
Absolutely.
You're gonna be a bad guy now, Justin. That should be you, dude.
I need to send
I-
Jake that mail before he kicks the bucket, dude.
Yeah, man, get to it. Get your act together, brother.
Because I'm sending him that Hapalopus too. He said he wants it. So
Hapalopus, like a pumpkin patch.
it's species Columbia or something. I don't-
Pairing those is fun. The first time I tried, he got eaten, and then she molted out. And then this last time, I cohabbed them. So I did the kind of same fuck bin situation. She was very good with him for a long time, and then they spent 3 days kind of chasing each other around the enclosure, like one of them chasing the other, and then the other one chasing. And after like 3 days, she just went back into her hide, and I was like, "Okay, you're done." She looks like a tick. So I'm hopeful. It's been about 6 weeks. So hopefully in the next month or two, we have 10 bajillion poppy seeds.
what are you feeding those peanut beetle larvae?
They'd have to be real small peanut beetle larvae.
What's your
maybe-
go-to then in that
Maybe even
instance?
springtails.
Oh wow.
Depends on
Okay.
how small they are. So like a baby C. elegans would get like a springtail. I have never seen
Damn.
a second instar pumpkin patch because when I got my girl, she was like small but not that small, and I think she ate baby mealworms. Oh, she ate
That's
confused
like
flower beetle larva. That's what she ate.
Those have been
that's
great for my
so
Leetsy.
so tiny.
Yeah. But similar to peanut beetle larva, confused flower beetle larva, just a similar beetle that eats a different thing. I'm
Mhm.
sure that you could grow peanut beetles on flour.
I think that's what I have is the confused. I don't even know. I just know they're teeny tiny. I keep them the same way I keep mealworms, and they
Are they in peanuts or are they in flour?
flour.
Oh, yeah. Then you probably have like rice flower beetles. Josh's Frog sells them. You can get them at like lots of expos. I got mine from Juju like 4 years and change ago. It was like one of the first things he ever sent me, along with rubber ducky isopods. And
Whoa.
yeah, I almost killed my culture twice because at my old place, it was a little too humid, and I got grain mites, and I freaked out.
Yes.
Like-
And then
I went absolutely postal about it. And so I picked out a few
felt.
beetles and a few little worms, tossed everything else, and started from like nothing. And then like 6 months later, same thing happened. Yeah. And so I did the same
All from
thing.
the humidity?
Yeah, well, in some places you can keep them in containers without real ventilation.
Oh, okay.
It was not that case with me, and somehow that didn't work. Now I keep mine in like 16-ounce delis with the fruit fly lids, so it lets a lot of air in and out. And I've had pretty good luck there with them.
Yeah,
I
I don't
did the
even have
same-
a lid on mine. Mine's just an open flat container on my shelf.
Yeah, Justin, that is so reckless. What if you bump into that and it spills?
I haven't yet. It's
And
under like my table, so it's like it can't really get knocked. If for it to get taken off that shelf and fall, like I have to like have a stroke as I'm grabbing it off the shelf or something. It can't be knocked off easily.
I almost knocked my main peanut beetle culture off, which is also lidless. So I am also operating.
Living dangerously.
I am living dangerously. But typically it's like in a little cubby, so it can't get knocked over. But I had the great idea to like use peanut beetle larva for my P Victorias, and I didn't feel like using one of the setups that I made for this specific reason. Instead, I grabbed the master culture and used them and bumped into them while I was cleaning. And I was like, all right, I've had about enough of these peanut beetle larvae. It's not their fault. I just can't be trusted.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
You
we're
gotta
on
be
red runners
careful.
right now.
Yes. So Dritz told me, he's like, dude, for feeding these HMAC, put all the nymphs in a toothpick,
Mm-hmm.
in one of these little toothpick type deals, dude. This thing here. Oh, this
changer?
thing is game changer, man. Because I had 203 sons of bitches that I had to feed. And I was just sprinkling cheese. I was just sprinkling the little bloop, 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 bloop. Oh, it was so helpful, dude, with those little red runner nymphs.
Yeah, I should have done something like that. I was using baby black soldier fly larvae, which tends to be
Oh,
my
okay.
go-to because they are slower. And again, I like it when something moves slow.
I mean, that's probably smart. The runners can be a pain.
They can be. And my experience with black soldier fly larvae is that I've never seen one in my collection kill a sling. And I have seen a red runner kill a sling.
Oh,
Whoa, really? I didn't know that was a thing.
Yep. I put in a red runner and I had partially crushed it. But I didn't crush it enough, and it still killed a skeleton like sling.
What?
Yeah. So like not even like a baby like sling that you would expect to like keel over and die. It was like a sling that was like pretty fast, and you would expect like, oh, that sling can take care of it, and it didn't.
I'm disappointed in that Ephopopus.
I was disappointed in myself more than anything because it wasn't even my sling. I killed one of two slings.
Oh man. Okay.
And I was newer to the hobby then and like didn't know better. I should have known better. I was still kind of baby in my keeping and baby in my advising, so I didn't even think anything of it. Now I do. Same thing.
So do you pre-kill? Do you pre-kill everything?
I don't pre-kill everything, but if I'm damaging, like if I'm damaging like a feeder, I aim for the head and just like crush it a little bit.
Yeah. You're shooting a maim. Yeah, I got you.
I don't want to risk the mandibles of the feeder doing damage to my sling, especially when I have things that are particularly delicate. Like some of my second Instar Victory just are a little bit wonky. I call them Team Scratch and Dent, and those are all my holdbacks. I keep every single one that doesn't molt out perfectly. And so for those, like, you don't know how well it's going to hunt. You don't know if it will hunt or if it has decided that its injuries are too severe or its disability is too severe that it won't hunt. So you have to find creative solutions. Like but all Team Scratch and Dent ate red runners, so that was great.
Like baby food.
I don't know how I would do that without like molding in such a tiny enclosure, but like I have to wonder if you could do mash for like slings. I bet you
could.
They
probably love it.
That's super damaged.
Or have you tried it yet?
Mash?
Yeah. Like have you tried to like just I don't know, you just take it.
Put a little.
I don't have any centipedes.
Yeah, but you didn't go out and get baby food just to try it. Now that we've been talking about it for so long.
I did take that picture of all of the meat options for that were baby food to compare nutrition, but I didn't buy any. I guess like that was my bad. I'll have to go get. I'll give you the results. We'll rank them all 1 to 10.
Yeah, we'll do like a blind taste test of all the different kinds of.
Oh my god, dude! If my parents fed me that as a baby, I'm pressing charges.
Dude, it's gnarly. Like I open it for the centipedes and I'm like, oh, it's like terrible. Oh man, and it's pink and shit. It literally looks like amoxicillin.
Yikes. Yeah, and like the beef one is like extra pink.
Yeah, it's wicked unnatural. It's a wicked unnatural. And then you mix in like the yeah.
It is great for snakes. Like Jack Vicente, who runs agrotoxins and does coral snakes and stuff, like that's what he feeds all his corals. He tube feeds them like a mix of baby food and some other stuff. Yeah, because it's like complete. It's like a complete diet. It's got everything in it that they would that they would need.
Coral snakes are ophiophagous, Anna. They won't eat
mice.
Non-snake feeders. They'll only eat snakes.
Does that mean, how do they eat when they're babies?
They're
Do they
eating
eat like ringnecks or something?
Tiny ringnecks, tiny tantilla, Storaria,
Yeah.
Probably tiny. At that size, I'm sure they're also eating like
Worms.
Maybe some worms. Like there's no. I've seen. If you've never seen a baby eastern coral snake, they are cocktail straws.
I've never. I mean, dude, I don't know anything. Like, I'm just a Phil. Like, so I don't.
They are so tiny. I don't know how they survive, dude. Like,
probably most of them don't, right?
Well, they have pretty small clutches to begin with. So.
Oh no, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Are they born from eggs or live?
Eggs.
Oh,
yeah. Small clutches. It's not a lot. They're not big snakes.
How big? How big are we talking?
I feel like if you find a 3-foot coral, like that's a serious.
Oh, really?
Coral. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Okay, that's pretty
thin
tiny.
and slender.
We have a milk snake named Carl because he looks like a coral snake. He's a Petco rescue that I saw when I was looking for feeders because I was having a lazy day. So I went in to get some super worms. And he was like 3 times the size of like any milk snake I'd ever seen there. Probably a return. And the animal care lead told me that he bit people and that he probably would only ever eat live. And I was like, I got to have that snake. It's got to be
I want that one. Yeah.
That messed up one.
Money.
So I brought him home, and this precious angel eats off of plates, frozen thawed. And if you look at him, he will hide. I have only...
What a vicious beast.
Yeah, I've never handled him. I dumped him out of his cardboard box from Petco because they send them home in these like little takeout containers.
Yeah.
And when I moved, I hooked him out, and it was a very sad experience for both of us because I'd never forced him to do anything, but the movers were terrified of snakes and spiders. So I had to like make sure that all the snakes were into my car before the movers came in. And he was fine. He's chilling, but for a snake that I got out of a pretty bad situation and kind of decided I would never force him to do anything, that was like the only time. My fire skink was very much the same. He came from somebody who could no longer keep him, and his enclosure had been broken. And I'm not sure if his enclosure was broken with him in it or not, but he was always like quite shy. And
I've heard those are a lot of fun.
People
told me they're really cool.
They're so cool. They're so pretty. Their care is fairly easy.
You can keep them in groups too, right? People keep them like communally, I think.
Some people do. I don't. And I know that some people keep breeding groups together. And one of our community members, Richard, at I think it's Valdezzi's Skinks or Deezy's Skinks. He's one of like the big US breeders of fire skinks. And he will keep his like together during breeding. He'll like put them together and he'll keep his babies, like the clutches will stay together for a while. But even then he's had a couple of instances of bullying.
Yeah.
So
okay.
It's not always like a perfect situation. And obviously, like if you notice that, you take them out, but Newbie, I don't think he would appreciate it if I got another skink and put him in his enclosure. He's my
Territorial.
own.
So I got my Sturmy came from Petco. I got it for a whopping $20.
Nice.
And they came out. They came. Well, they had a new girl working there that day, and she got the labels mixed up. And so she was like, "Oh, this one's 20." I was like, "Sure is."
Is it?
Sure is.
Here's $20.
Hey, if you say so.
I have cash.
You're the expert. I walked out of there giggling. I was like, $20 near me. Yeah, they tried to. She came around the corner with one of those cardboard boxes. I was like, no,
Stop.
not gonna. No, bro, I got a 45-minute drive home. This ain't gonna work. Like, give me a beta cup. And then
Was
she
it
brought
a
me one.
big Sturmy?
Wasn't like a juvie. Well, what's a
It
juvie?
wasn't little. It
Right.
doesn't sound like it was little, dude.
It wasn't little. It wasn't like my hypothesis that still had its pink feet and stuff. This was like maybe the size of like a small adult bracky.
Okay, so probably still like a wild caught individual at that size.
I don't know.
Did it look like shit?
No. No one buys the spiders at the nearest Petco to me because there were times where I went in there and they've had the same spiders there for like over a year. So when they were on sale, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
because they're also like, it's starting to get too big. And I guess when they get too big, people don't want to buy them even more. So they start making deals and like they'll give me an extra 10% off if I cup it for them. So
Are you serious? Oh my
yeah,
god,
dude. Because they're like terrified of them. They're like, we'll give you an extra 10% off if you take it. If you
Just
get
like,
it out.
here, I'll
I'm like,
touch
hell
it.
yeah.
I'll
So
just grab
they
it.
bring me a beta cup, and then the beta cup lid didn't fit. So I was like, shit. But
That's the worst.
got him
Yeah.
home, and homeboy's been living it up.
I wish my Petco had given us more percent off for cupping them. That ended up kind of being our requirement if we were picking up like a Petco spider that Jordan could, like Juju could do the cupping because a lot of the like animal care people were kind of frightened.
Mhm.
And I one time watched an employee at a pet store be scared of the spider and it got out and it fell.
Oof.
And it didn't, like, the abdomen didn't rupture, but after they dropped it like onto the floor, I was no longer really comfortable like taking a spider home that had done that damage. Where I live now, though, they have a mature male GBB that I'm sure has been there long enough that it matured there. And luckily, I don't need a mature male GBB because they're like, yeah, it's 25% off. And I was like, so you want someone to pay like $100 and something for a mature male that has like not very long left? And
Yeah.
they're like,
Couple
well,
months.
yeah. I was like, all right, friends. Well,
My first classy came from that Petco. I got it for like $60 or $70. Dude, when they run those sales, man, like I ain't above going over there and shopping around. Like
Those Thrive enclosures.
That's
the
PetSmart.
PetSmart Thrive enclosures are my current favorite 8812 for the price, for what you can get out of them. I think that the biggest struggle that you have with those is obviously that they should have the bottom sealed, like where the white plastic meets the acrylic.
Yeah.
If you don't seal that, they get disgusting. And the same thing with like where you push the little like push pins in that like attach the enclosure together. If you don't seal those, they get a little bit yucky.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my Regalis is trash hers.
Of course she has.
I'm like, whatever, dude. It's where we can't have nice
Shit
things.
for real.
That's
I do like
awesome.
them though. It sucks that they keep going up in price because when they first brought them out, they were like $20. Not even.
Well, I thought they were $40 and $20 on sale.
No, when they
thought they were
first
22.
released them, they were like
Oh.
20 or 25, and then over time, I guess people were buying them up, and they were like, "Let's start asking more," and so the prices just slowly crept up on them over the last year or two.
Interesting, because
Yeah.
when they released them where I was, they were $40 and 50% off, and they kept them at that price, the 50% off price, for like months.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were 40, and now I think that they're 45. As of like last week, they were on 50% sale for that like $22.50, which
Are
still
they?
makes them like the most affordable 8812 on the market presently.
Kind of out there. Yeah, I don't know one that's better priced than that.
I was
They
very
stack
skeptical of
too.
them at first. Like when I first saw them, I was like, "There's no way those are." I was thinking like same thing, rubber band stuff. I'm like, "There's no way these are better than that. Like these are probably the same." I was like, "Let me get one and try one."
Mhm.
And I put it together, and I was like, "This is actually pretty legit." And same thing. I've come to love them. And now, like when they're on sale, if I go into PetSmart because I'm in mine pretty regularly because I don't have a Petco on this side of town. if they're on sale, I'll just grab one and I'll start stockpiling them. Like I'll just keep some on hand because I know I'm gonna use it at some point.
Yep. I feel that on an existential level. I do like that they have both the top part has the lips that protect from a little bit of warping. So if it does warp, it's still like the spider can't get out. And the
Stackable.
same thing with
Yeah.
the door, it has the double latch. So again, if it warps, a large spider can't get out, which is a struggle with some other enclosures that have warping, is that they no longer close correctly and then the spiders can get out and then big spider on wall, which is
Mhm.
not what
It's
I
not
want.
good.
Yeah.
Not good.
I've heard some people complain about the holes, like the pilot holes not matching up. I haven't really had
Ooh.
that been an issue with any of mine though yet. So I don't.
I had it with one of the ones that I got when they first made them. I haven't had an issue with any in the last year. So my last like 12 that I've bought, I didn't have an issue.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's some
Wow.
guys like Gage who we've had on the show a couple episodes back. He's been using them for his leaf tail geckos for raising up some of his baby Europlatus.
Oh, that's I remember him talking about that. Yeah. That's actually really smart. I don't know. I just use those
Perfect size, dude.
spaghetti storage containers and I ventilate them myself. And those things are bulletproof, dude. Cambros. I use Cambros. And those 20 quart Sterilites for all my centipedes. I have hundreds of those. It's crazy.
And they stack.
And they stack, yep. And they stack and they're gasketed and the white beards can't push their way out. And I'm a happy Phil.
Are you one of those people that everything has to like match?
No.
No.
It can't. Like, it
I'm
can't.
the picture of my cabinet thing. Hannes has like a stroke.
Well, dude, that's Justin. That's a whole different issue. He's playing on a different level, man. The man's is built different. He's in Germany. You know what I mean? He has like
his room looks like a laboratory. Mine looks like
dude. The guy's doing science over there. We're keeping bugs in boxes over here. Okay, we're just.
I go to Home Goods and get a lot of my containers from there because they have a lot of the shapes and sizes and like types that I like to use, right?
Yeah,
and they're cheaper than most places. So like,
yeah,
everything in my room there's no uniformity whatsoever. It's
no.
If it fits a spider in it,
If it fits, it ships, dude.
Yeah,
fuck yeah, dude.
I ain't trying to make anything match. Like, it has a job. The spider's going to be in it for especially small stuff, not very long. So what difference does it make? Because it's just going to get bumped up in a couple months anyways.
No, dude, it's got to be the same because then he knows the same parameters, and then you can keep everything the same, and then he knows when things are gonna. Like, I don't know, dude. He explained it in his German voice, and I was like, okay, bud, you're right.
He always responds. He's like, "How do you do it?" I'm like, "I don't know, man. I just like I know what's what. It's all labeled." And
I sent him a video of some centipedes once, and he's like, "Your room looks like you just came back from an expo." And I was like, "You fucker." My shit is fucking immaculate. My shit is immaculate. Okay. He's like, it looks like you just came back from an expo. All your shit is in.
When are you setting everything up?
Yeah, like, what the fuck, asshole? All my shit is set up, dude. Dude, I was laughing.
He also saw the containers with this much dirt and this much space and said, huh.
No, but like literally, he was like, "Are you good?" And I'm like, "No." Like, I'm not okay. Oh man. What a funny guy.
Get into TA stuff.
Yeah.
The best community on the internet.
The coolest.
What's
coolest.
Your history with TA?
Yeah. So TA existed like long before I did in the invert hobby.
Many eons ago.
Many eons ago, in the before times. The before my invert keeping times. But the kind of idea behind TA remains the same. It's a community that's focused on kind of like research and educational outreach, mainly focused on invertebrates, but also more broadly on like all exotic animals. And the hope and obviously the dream of TA is that we are kind of bridging the gap between like keepers and scientists and behavior technologists, and improving standards of care and kind of raising awareness, because there's not a lot of information that is easy to access when it comes to things like invertebrates.
Mhm.
TA is like really heavily reliant on kind of citizen science contributions, which is all of us. So if you've ever used iNaturalist is another citizen science community where everybody is getting together to identify everything, bugs, animals, plants, and doing that as a community and furthering kind of the understanding of where those animals range, what they look like, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, so TA is full of keepers and advisors and lovers of animals rather than just like, you don't have to be a keeper to be there. But
It's
I have
full
really
of MASH disciples.
MASH disciples also. And then we have,
Disciples of the MASH.
yeah, we have a lot of the Underdark crew that is there, and that has been wonderful over the last, gosh, I think it's almost like 10 months now. It feels like an entire era now.
Been
with
that long?
them.
I don't know. I had just joined, and then I think like 2 days later, there was like some big migration, and there's like some drama related that I don't recall. But like Phil was like, "Look, just join this one." I'm like, "Oh, okay." Like I had just been on Discord. I was so unfamiliar with it.
This one's cool, Justin. Here,
And,
figure.
Yeah,
here,
he was like, "Hey, every like party's moving over here," and I was like, "Oh, okay." And I'm just, you could be walking me off a cliff, and I have no idea where I'm going. But
I did walk you off a cliff. I pushed you off a cliff, dude.
But it is. I mean, like we've talked about. It's so refreshing and enjoyable, I think, is the big thing. Like, I like being there and I like talking to people on there. It's not like Facebook groups where it's like, I know if I say something, like if I brought up the Akaya situation or something, that I'd probably get roasted by a lot of people. And like some of that rightfully so. Like, yeah. But it's really nice to be able to go somewhere and people be like, shit happens. Like, here's what you should do to fix it. Like, here's different opinions, like a lot of experience from a lot of different
Evidence-based
people.
literature.
You know, yeah, that too.
Yeah.
And it's just nice to have just a place that just feels like a hangout and doesn't take itself super seriously. Like, you don't have people that are thinking they're the king shit of fuck mountain because they're in charge of it, and like it's just so much better than the Facebook groups, and like I'm in a lot of Facebook groups. I almost, even in my own groups, I almost never post in them. I know there's something about it. I have zero desire. Like, I like seeing stuff that people post. I like lurking, but I really don't have any desire. I don't have any desire to really engage in Facebook groups personally. Mostly because of the people, but also because arguing with strangers on the internet is not something I enjoy as a hobby. So I don't know. It's so nice.
I will say that, like, unlike other communities, whoa.
I think Phil's AirPods died.
Oh, hello.
Hello, Phil.
Can you hear us, Phil?
Sorry. My things just exploded. We're good now. I can hear you. I couldn't hear you. I had to do a thing.
I could hear me, and that's the worst experience that I've had today. So I'm glad that's no longer happening. I will say that we have kind of an expectation for people participating in advisories. One, that they're taking kind of intellectual responsibility for the advisories they're making, which is part of our QA system, and why you'll see people disclaiming advisories. And why you'll see even somebody who we consider to be a qualified advisor disclaiming parts of their advice that maybe they're not qualified, like a qualified advisor for. So if I make a statement on breeding, even though I will say that I have a decent amount of breeding experience at this point, after a couple of years, I still wouldn't consider myself like a breeder.
Mm-hmm.
So I make sure that I say, like, these are things that I've experienced. This is my experience or my opinion. And it doesn't make that less valuable. And I think it also kind of helps us keep any sort of ego in check, versus in other places where people might state their opinions or experiences as fact,
Mm-hmm.
And then they have this need to protect that
Yeah.
statement versus like, here was my experience, and you may have a different experience, and that's okay. So kind of like remembering how important it is to kind of pull ego out of advice when everybody is there to help the same animal. So
Right.
I think that that is different from other communities.
Well, that's
And
the issue with a lot of the Facebook groups in general, is just every opinions are so black and
Strong.
white, so concrete.
Yeah.
And to mention like, hey, you probably shouldn't keep that green tree python on Aspen. And then you're going to have, the one or two people in that group that, because they never get checked and no one seems to challenge anything that they're saying, if you challenge it, the mob just comes for you, and it's like, that's the most frustrating thing with not even just inverts, but like herps and stuff too, is like, it's so much, there's a lot of gray area. There's so many variables at play. It can't be that simple as
There's
it's
a
not-
lot of ways to skin a cat.
right.
Yeah.
and that's again why it's so important to like be able to say when something is your opinion and
Mhm.
when it's your belief or when it's something that you heard. Something that Juju will say that reminds me, I think about it a lot when I'm advising, like, is it a fact you know, is it a fact you heard, or is it a fact that you made up? And
Oh, you said that to me once. I remember we talked about
it is
that. You
one
said
of
that
my
to me
favorite
once.
statements. It
That
also
does sound very, very, very no-esque.
Yeah. And it's one of my favorites because it continuously reminds me to like take my ego out of the equation. And that is so important when you're advising because like we're there to care for the animal, but the first person, like the first part of that is like caring for the other human on the other side of the screen.
Mhm.
And like if you had gone into that situation with your Akaya and we had shit on you, like more than likely the only thing that is suffering in that is the Akaya. Because
Yeah.
now we've mistreated you. You're very unlikely to come back and ask another question because you don't want to be punished for asking.
So it's funny you say that, because Juju was like, send me pictures of the setup, and I'm like, oh man, it's a little crispy in there right now. And so I sent him a picture. I was like, be gentle. He was like super cool about it, and I was fully expecting to be like, dude, do better, and be like, yep, figured that was what the answer would be. But he's like, no, he's like, this is a judgment-free zone, more or less. I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but he's like, same thing. Like, we're here to do the better for the animal, and it's about objectivity. That's what it is,
Absolutely. Another Jujuism, since he's not here to say it, is that sometimes we punish people because punishment feels good. It feels good to tell the keeper that they suck. Like we get some sort of intrinsic feeling of value, or like we did something good by saying that. But all we did was put a barrier between ourselves and the other keeper. And we've put the animal that we say we love at risk. Because if we can't establish rapport with the other keeper, then the animal is the only one that suffers. Because that person can just take their ball and go home. They don't have to listen to your advice. And if you treat them like shit, they won't. And they shouldn't. Like they shouldn't have to experience that just to get advice. And there are some communities that don't believe that way, and they think that like shaming a keeper for whatever they're going through with an animal is the right way. And I will say that they may experience success with that one advisory, but that person is probably not going to come back. Or they will go and they'll say, well, I know I'm going to get the answer that I need, but they're going to make me feel really bad while I get it. So I'm going to leave feeling worse, even though I got the information that I needed. And I don't think that that's fair to the spider, fair to the keeper, or particularly good for the hobby.
Scares a lot of new people away from the hobby, straight up.
Yeah. It does mean that people will say that we have a lot of new keepers. And I think that that's really special. I think that creating a space where new keepers feel comfortable to ask the like dumb question is important, because everybody has those dumb questions. And if somebody doesn't ask them, like nobody will know. And you never know if a question is something that has never like been asked before. Like, what if we've never used a certain kind of dirt and substrate and people are like, well, this is what is available in my country. Can I use it? And then you're down a deep rabbit hole about substrate, and there's
Dirt.
nothing better than talking about dirt.
Mhm. Facts. Timberline organic, baby.
No,
It's $3 a bag.
I'm bougie.
Yeah. Justin got his high-end gold
My
flake
$20 bio blend.
Mhm.
$20 bio blend
I love
that
that stuff, dude.
comes delivered to him on a silver platter. He has to tip the driver.
No, I don't. I'd be tipping myself because I'm the one driving across town to go get it.
Yeah, all 10 people that live in your town. You gotta.
Yeah, dude, it's cross town for me is 15 minutes, and it's terrible. Like if I'm having to drive across town, like that's a trek. Okay, if I gotta leave an island, that's the rule here, dude. If you gotta drive over a bridge,
45 minutes both ways, and it's uphill to work.
Yeah.
In
I was
the
like, dude,
snow.
there's more people on my street than in your
Probably.
town, brother.
Yeah, it's not a lot, but I think maybe it's just because I'm getting older. But like having the dumb questions and being green to something, but it's it can be a little daunting, especially given the way that social media is now, and like I can understand why newer people would be afraid to speak up, especially on Facebook, because seeing just the brutality there of how people are, it's like I don't blame people one bit for not wanting to ask questions. Like why would they? Like seeing the reaction they're
Mhm.
going to get from the general populace is like, I don't blame you one bit. But like I seen it in chondros. I had a lot of people message me about chondros over the years, and it'd be like, I didn't want to ask in the group, but what do you think about X, Y, and Z? And it was always the thing like, look, learn from my mistake. I've killed a lot of chondros, dude. Like, I don't want you to kill a lot of chondros. So I'm going to tell you whatever I have to tell you to make sure that you don't have to go through that because it sucks.
Mhm.
But it's also, it's that, but then realizing too that just because you're good at, inline skating and you're not great at skateboarding yet doesn't mean that you won't at some point be great at skateboarding.
Mhm.
So it's like, it's okay to be new at something, I guess, is kind of that's what I've come to realize over time is like, it's not that serious if you don't know, like you don't know what you don't know. And so,
Well, yeah, that's the fun part, dude, is learning, right?
right.
Like,
Right.
that's kind of the, one of the coolest parts of the community is, it's a large group of people that, most of them want to learn, right? And then there's quite a bit of tools that are available to us as community members to, really help us learn.
Mhm.
The WSC bot, Moltly, all that stuff that's kind of fucking banana land if you really think about it. Like the WSC bot's kind of banana land, and that's something that like you can DM that bot and just ask it all this shit on your own time and just learn,
Yeah, you can pull all of the species info, and it ties in things from iNaturalist. It gives you information about
everything.
vegetation, about like soil humidity and temperatures, all of these things that like we think about a lot in our keeping. I think it is more commonly thought about in like snake keeping.
Mm.
And we're hoping that this brings it into spider keeping maybe more than it is in more broad circles.
Mhm.
And that you can install the WSC bot in your own server is pretty special. You can also get to it online if you don't want to use the bot, which I think is very cool. But yeah, like there's just so much information that we have at our fingertips that people used to have to get in books.
Mhm.
When we started talking to Dritz about this, he's got this like almanac,
weather book?
right? The weather
The
book.
Bible.
Weather book.
Right.
Yeah.
And that is amazing that that exists. But it's 2026 and maybe we didn't need it to be in a book. So now it is accessible to everyone without having to buy a book and kind of tweaking it, because that book is like for a specific year. Is it for the current year? And it shows like 30 years back.
It's metal. It's it's a wicked old book, and then it's like the past like 60 years prior to the year that it was. It's some dated information, which obviously holds value, right? But
To a point.
right.
Yeah.
When we're thinking about pairing, though, like a lot of that information is super valuable because
Correct.
we're thinking about like weather, and it is easier to kind of look at some of that older data and know, okay, here's what it was then. And we know that the pairings worked then versus having to account for global warming and how climate has changed and just kind of having to tack into the wind to try to match climate versus looking at how things were when we knew that things were successful.
Right.
Yeah, I'm firmly convinced that you will learn so much more about a species from just reading up on natural history than you will any care sheet.
Hard agree.
You know, like nothing's better than the source.
Absolutely.
Mother Nature. She'll teach you everything you need to know.
She taught you everything, Justin.
Yeah, except to keep centipedes in tall tubs.
Yeah, I had to teach you that one. Uncle Phil had to teach you that one, dude.
Taller than 16-ounce delis with big holes.
Yeah. Yes, that. Yeah.
I need to send you some of my mesh lids so you can try it and like obviously put them in a bigger container, but
just
I think
that's what I ended up doing. I had them once I saw the first one missing, I was like, well, I need to put these in something else in case they get out, because I put it back in the deli and I was like, it's not going to figure it out again. That was a fluke. It was a fluke.
Yeah.
They're not that smart.
Yeah.
And then Phil was appalled when I was like, yeah, I mean, I saw it stick its head through one of the holes, but I didn't think it was big enough for the whole body.
Yeah, Anna, literally my face. Like, I'd be like, motherfucker, are you kidding me? Get that bitch out that enclosure right now.
You would think that I would have learned that lesson, because like with snakes, it's like, if I think it can get through that gap,
it can get through the gap.
But I'm like, yes, they got all those legs. Like, there's no way,
bro. They're flat.
Tarantulas are the same thing. We say if the carapace can fit in either direction, then the spider can get out. So pay attention to the vent holes.
100%. 100%. So I've been using the metal. I have those metal mesh lids now for the delis, and now all the juvenile centipedes that are in delis have metal mesh. And if they start chewing through metal, Anna, then I'm just going to send them all to you.
They deserve their freedom if they've made it.
Have them in something big.
They've earned it.
If they start chewing through metal, they can. Yeah, done.
It's over.
Yeah, they're going to start flying and shit.
Terrible. Yeah, I do believe there will be centipedes in my future, but right now I have a jumping spider that I got from Dritz, and I also recently got a ghost mantis, which I did not expect to like.
They're pretty cool.
She is just so cute, and I was hoping that it was a boy, and then I had one of my friends confirm for me, and she is in fact a girl, so I'll be trying to pair my first mantis instead of getting to be able to ship out a male. But yeah, I often hope for males with my inverts because it means that I have less responsibility and just get to win when someone else does all the work.
Facts. I feel that.
Yeah, mantids it's in a similar thing for me, like with the jumpers and stuff. It's like if they lived longer, I would probably be more interested in them. It's just the flash in the pan lifespan that just kind of kills.
I'm already attached, and I know they will both break my heart because they are just so cute. My jumping spider molted for the first time, and now it doesn't look like a little tick. It looks like a little spider. Fluffy.
Do you have velvets? Anna?
No, I'm not ready. Those are going to hurt my feelings in a real big way.
They're literally so cool. I'm like so surprised. I feel like that would be right up your alley. Like they're like jumping spiders, but ones that smoke cigarettes and lift weights.
It's true.
Drive without their seatbelts.
How small the males are compared to the females for pairing is like just
it's insane.
It's so great.
It's the dimorphism is fucking astonishing. Yeah. They're so cool.
I'm hopeful that TA will not vote for a velvet as our next breeding project. We tend to let everybody who is a VIP or a subscriber, they get to vote on breeding projects, which then we purchase the spiders for. Last one was an Avicularia minitrix. And
cool.
we paired her this year and she molted out. So I have another male that's coming next week to try again.
Cool.
Yeah. So I'm very excited about that one. One of the runners up was P Victory, but I had already impulse purchased a P Victory. So that one was out of the running and we got that one. But yeah, that is a fun way that kind of we get to interact with the community and kind of give them some oversight, because these are the people that we're kind of breeding them for. We do a lot of giveaways. I think we have another probably 20 P Victoria that we'll give away over the next couple of months. And both of our
Nice.
girls have molted, so we will get to pair them again. So I imagine we'll have more P Victoria in the future.
That's awesome. They're so cool. The ones that you sent me are literal, like they're savages. You just put whatever feeder in there and they tackle it. It's like it's so easy.
They are very fun. And all the P Victoria that were like Team Scratch and Dent, or if they didn't eat immediately, I kept all of those. So everybody that got a Victoria from me, or if they got like any sort of TA spider, I don't send out the ones that have struggled to eat, and then we keep those as holdbacks. Because we don't want people to have a bad experience from spiders, especially when they're getting them for free. Like we don't want them to get a spider that like is struggling. So we keep all of those. And it means that like if there's a risk of any that are going to be failure to thrive, they fail to thrive at home. And I haven't like shipped out a spider that maybe wouldn't make it. Because we had very little loss from our P Victoria clutches this year, for instance. And both of them were kind of way above what we would consider standard. I had been prepared for a couple of like 80 to 100 sling egg sacks.
You get a lot.
Like 160-ish and 222. So nearly.
Yeah. You actually beat 222 beat the HMAC. That's really serious.
And that is only slings that molted to second instar. We didn't count any that like failed as eggs with legs, or first instar.
Mine came out second instar, so that makes sense. Wow.
Yeah. The wild experience. That's really big for an HMAC though, I thought as well. Like you had a pretty.
It is insane. Dritz was like, "Are you sure you counted right?" And I was like, "Yes." Me and Corey counted twice. So I don't know.
When I was counting, I told Juju that the second sack had to be smaller than the first one. And then I'm 4 hours into this stream packing like all of them into deli cups. And I'm like, this has to be smaller. I don't know why I'm so slow. And Juju was like, you're wrong. Respectfully. And he was absolutely right. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh, it's probably like 100 something. Maybe it's 150. My goal was just to beat Rob, who a king of worms on Discord. He is the owner of the mail that we used. And I was just like, bigger sack, better person. But he had a great sack. He did great. It was his first breeding project. And then we got to use the male and pair 2 more females and then send him half. So what a cool first experience for him too. But I think he had like 130 something, 140 something like that. But another like very impressive Victoria sack. And hopefully with another couple sacks, we'll see like some price drops, which I love. Everybody deserves the like
more
ability
people
to
get
slings
spiders. Yeah, exactly. That's something Dritz really wants to do. Absolutely.
That's why we gotta make Bambus happen, man.
The Bambus, and we got to make more centipedes.
And your Imira.
Yes. Justin will be doing that this weekend.
It's really cool though to see so many species that 20 years ago were insanely expensive and seemed so unattainable, like Balfouri and Metallica. The first round when I was keeping stuff, like those things were all super expensive because not that many people were producing them. And so to have so much stuff now that is, Balfouri, like I can't believe how much cheaper those are now compared to how they, what they were. And so many people like kind of some of that stuff being in the same sort of demand as like Celadonia right now. But, 2 decades ago, no one had them. Few people were breeding them. Like it was crazy expensive. And to see now that there's so many other things available that weren't before is just really, it's awesome to to see
Dude,
it.
I remember Dritz telling me he said he remembers when LPs were $400 a piece.
Really?
Yeah,
Jeez.
that was it. There was a time where that was a thing,
I
dude.
believe it. Well, I mean,
He
you
said he
think about
remembers when he got his first one, and she
the
was
80s and 90s, dude. There
fucking
was like
huge. Yeah,
7 species people were doing anything with. There was
keeping
nothing.
sponges with their
Right.
in their water dishes and shit. Yeah,
End of 2021, I saw my first P Victoria, and it was like $130 for a sling. And I was like,
Whoa.
I'm not buying that. And I went and I got my that was either when I got my Carabiner Leda and my other Avix, or when I got my pumpkin patch. I forget which, but it was one of my very first expos. And instead I got slings that were more affordably priced. And both times I went looking for a G Pulcra, and I didn't come home with it either time. I have them now. I've had them for 4 years. Juju and I got them together, and they are sub 2 inches still.
Tiny.
Um,
Yeah,
They're cute little things.
you're gonna retire before they're adults.
Unless they're boys, then like it's just a handful more years, and then I'll get to ship them out to
Yeah.
somebody who's breeding them, because I will not
To
have
20.
a mature female.
No.
Yeah, I think Metallica slings back then were like 300 a pop.
Whoa, really?
I've seen
Yeah,
cheaper Metallicas since then. We've seen people offer them as cheap as like $25 back in Juju's
Really?
time. Some like
Wow.
$25 PMETs. And he reminds me of that sometimes. It's a good reminder that like there are people who were doing good things in the hobby, and they weren't there
Mhm.
trying to like just get like drag every cent out of every keeper.
Mm.
And that's kind of what we do with our breeding projects. Is we offer them like really affordably to the community, because the goal isn't like to make money. Spiders is a passion.
Mhm.
So I'd rather keep my work as work and let spiders be something that I enjoy.
Hell, I send Justin spiders for fun. Like, here, take this.
Well, that's one of the things I
That's
love
the
about
fun.
it.
Yeah.
It's
Like,
the
here,
same with
have
snakes.
some of
Like,
these. Like,
so many of our friends and stuff, it's like, why are we just going to give each other money when we're just going to get snakes and spiders off one another? Like, why aren't we just sending each other
Yeah.
stuff? Like,
here, take
what's
this.
the
I don't
point?
care.
Sending the same $50 back and forth to one another. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Just trade stuff,
like-
whatever, send stuff. Like, that's the way I like it.
I agree, dude. Animals for animals. Like, I'm sure at some point you'll send me something. It'll be dope. Like,
I'd rather do that and like sell wholesale than morph market and trying to sell stuff individually and like that whole thing. I've been down that road, not a lot, but I've been down it enough to know that I have no real interest in doing it on any decent scale. Like maybe a couple stuff here and there, but like
yeah,
sending stuff to homies, hooking them up, and then wholesale. Like
wholesale.
nothing but
So
money.
it's really nice. It's really nice when you have too many spiders and you call Dritz and it's like, listen, this is what I got, and I'm just bringing it by. And he's like, yeah, man, come on by, man, yeah. And he takes all the spiders wholesale and he hooks you up with some dope ass centipedes. But then
just
I don't know,
pay
man.
me
It's
classy. Problem solved.
You only accept brachypelma as currency.
Classy, specifically,
And Bambus.
and Bambus.
The elusive Brachypelma bambus.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're tough to find.
I'm gonna hybridize them.
Oh
Yeah.
no, not today, Satan. Not today.
Frankenstein.
I will say that like as people whose hobby includes breeding, that it's super important, and I think that this group is great at this, is that remembering that like that's just the part of a hobby that we enjoy, and that the people who don't breed their spiders are the reason that we can have that part of our hobby. And I've heard
Yeah.
people think or feel bad because they're not breeding spiders, and I think that that is such a sad feeling, because I don't think that necessarily it's coming from our community, but it's coming from somewhere where people feel
Herps.
like they're less.
It's the same thing in herps.
I was gonna say with
Yeah.
herps. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
think
cool to
it's
just keep animals.
the mentality of everyone else is doing it. Like I
Mhm.
think people come into it and they say like see everyone else is doing it, so they assume that that's just like that's what you do.
And like the people who want one snake or one spider, like
Mhm.
that keeping experience is just as valid as somebody that wants to keep 300 spiders.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it's so important to remember, like, these are people that, and if you're selling those animals, remembering that you might be shipping somebody the only spider they're going to keep. So their experience of that might be the only one they have. And they may
Yeah.
never try again if something goes wrong, or if, I don't know, if something goes bad in shipping, or if their experience with you when you're vending that spider is bad. Like, you could end someone's hobby because they were only intending to keep that one animal.
Well, then, and how many people are they gonna tell about their experience with said breeder? And it's like the
Yeah.
question
It's just
that
you're digging
should be-
yourself a hole.
the question should be like, is your reputation worth that single shipping label that you don't want to buy again to send them a
It's
replacement?
$40.
Like,
Yeah. Just
look at it from a bit of a wider angle of like, is this really worth people being told how shitty you were and difficult and a dick, whatever. And to me, it's like, just eat it, send a replacement. Like, if I send someone a rhino rat snake after I make sure that it's eating and they're like, it's not eating, and be like, I'll send you another one. Like, you can even keep the one I sent you that's struggling. Like, I'll do it, because again, like, money isn't it's not my job. It's not my livelihood isn't dependent on it. And I can understand why some people would be like, that would be more of a factor because if it's what's paying their bills. And as a small business owner, like, understanding shit gets tight
Right.
sometimes, and it can be tough. If you're not doing it as a full-time gig, like, what's the big deal?
Yeah. And even if you are doing it as a full-time gig, making sure that, like, your lag policy is good. Like, making sure that you are at least keeping up with the other lag policies and that you aren't doing something weird. And your customer service, like, making sure that you're there for that communication. And, like, let's say that you're a spider vendor that mostly gets from imports, and maybe you're not well versed in what happens to the spider after it's been in someone else's enclosure in their thing. Like, making sure that you're partnering with, like, people like TA, for instance, because it is our job to then look at a spider that's been in an enclosure and then back out and figure out what all of the causes or something could be. But I think that there are a lot of vendors that have really great customer service, and then some vendors that are learning better customer service. And that's kind of all that you can hope for, is that, like, vendors are growing and changing with the times, and, like, making sure that, like, they're remembering that their customer is the reason that they can have that business.
Well, I'm sure for a lot of people too, like for myself, if I buy from someone and everything is great, like the communication is really solid, like they're reliable, I know, like, I'm getting what I'm paying for, and like, if I've bought from you multiple times, I'm likely you're probably going to become my guy. Like, I'm not going to go shopping around. Like, I've got a couple, like Tom Saxon, I bought some stuff from him. Like, if I want to go shopping around, like, I'm going to go see what Tom has, because like, I know that
It's good stuff.
it's good stuff. I
Yeah,
don't have to.
That's what it
it's
is. Yeah.
not a
Straight
question.
up.
Dylan, at 8 Deadly Sins, like, I bought from Dylan a couple times, and it's like, because I know what I'm like, the service is there and the quality's there, and like, there's no real question about it, because we've been through it a couple times. And I don't know, I don't like to buy from a bunch of different people. I tend to just stick to like a core handful, and if they have what I'm looking for, great. If they don't, then like,
You'll wait.
at some point they will, or I know somebody that will. Now that I got Phil that just sends me boxes, and don't really have to.
It's
worry about that
so
anymore.
bad, Justin.
Dude.
It's so bad because I saved your shipping address, so I don't even need your information anymore. I can just click your name and print a label.
And hope that he goes and picks up the spider.
No, it goes to his work. So I know he's there, Anna. No, Anna. I know he's at work. I know he's getting it. Yeah. Yep. He can't hide.
I don't have a local hub anymore, so if I ship stuff out, it gets picked up. If stuff gets sent to me, it gets dropped off. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people are really weird about that now. I don't remember that being a thing a couple of years ago. Maybe it's just mostly an invert thing, but I know with like most reptile people, they're like, okay, it's not going to a hub, no big deal. But I don't know. I've never had any issues, fortunately. Knock on wood, aside from delays. But
I just pack for a delay. Assume there's going to be a delay. Look at the weather.
which sadly
Right.
at this point you kind of have to expect a delay, especially with Memphis and stuff.
I was gonna say Memphis has been really tough, really tough as of late. I was actually talking to someone I know at FedEx, and she said there was a FedEx pilot strike. So I don't know if that has something to do with it.
They also had like a chemical spill not a couple weeks ago.
Who's spilling chemicals over there?
I don't
Justin?
know. That delayed stuff for I think 3 or 4 days.
That was in Memphis.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Don't know what that
All
entails.
those chemicals. Yeah.
Something. So.
I think all of the invert shipments that I've gotten have been delivered to a hub, but I've always been within like 35 minutes of a hub. And it was worth it to me to do that versus the one reptile. No, I had one reptile shipped to a hub and one that was shipped that I didn't even get a like tracking number for. It just showed up at my house. I didn't know it had been shipped. It was terrifying. She was fine. It was my one of my snakes, and she's the best. She came out fine. But the vendor was super apologetic. Like, I didn't realize you didn't get the tracking. It's like, there's nothing you can do. Like, the tracking goes to the customer. But it didn't go to me. So I don't know if maybe like my email address was spelled wrong or something, but she was fine.
Who knows? Yeah.
She's great.
Wow. Yeah, I've only gotten reptiles shipped to. I typically just go to the hub because I live right next to the airport.
See, my
it's the
nearest
best.
hub's like if traffic's non-existent, I could get there in like 45 minutes. But traffic's never non-existent, especially because it's a big port that it goes into. Because there's the airport and stuff is right there next to all of it, so all that stuff comes into the port there, and like traffic gets nuts, especially if you're getting into like rush hour. It took me a little bit to get back from the hub yesterday with that centipede. So I was driving home in bumper to bumper traffic with a nice centipede on my lap. It was fantabulous. No, I'm kidding. I had him in the box. That was not Justin. Oh my God. No,
Justin.
That's the way I interpreted it.
You're awful, dude. Get your mind out of the gutter.
Wishful thinking.
What are you trying to say, dude?
Can you imagine one of those bastards getting loose in the car though? Like you're stuck in traffic and you have
Yes, I can. Dude, Frank told me, dude, the first time I ever met Frank, he told me in the early 2000s he had a Galapagos get out in his truck, and it got in between the fucking ceiling and the the cover, like the cloth covering, the roof of your car. And he said he had to pull over on the highway and fucking fish it out with a snake hook and bag it and bring it home. It was fine.
Absolutely not.
It got out and was out for like 2 weeks in October and shit. It was getting cold in New York, he said.
Maniac.
Truly.
Pass.
Justin, dude, you're so funny. You and your tall containers, not that much dirt.
I would 1010% keep venomous snakes again before I kept big centipedes.
Dude, that's the craziest. You know what's crazy is
really a comparison.
Phil Wolf literally has to wear a face shield for some of the cobras that he has. And he's like, you know what? Yeah, centipedes sketched me out. I won't keep any. It's like, Phil, dude, you have to wear a fucking face shield, brother. Like, you have shit that could blind you, and you're worried about
adult puff adders, which are like, that's not a small snake. And that's not a slow snake. When they want to move.
Yeah, and they want to move, they boogie. Levitate. Yeah, dude.
Everyone thinks Bittis are slow until Bittis decide they don't want to be slow anymore. And then it's like, oh, that's how people get bit. When the big, giant, fat slug all of a sudden can lift itself off the ground and do backflips, then it gets real.
Yeah. Yeah, but he won't take centipedes, though. He won't keep a centipede. That's great. That's crazy.
Maybe it's because snakes are just a little more predictable for the most part.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I know what a copperhead's probably going to do when I go to hook it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I've never
Centipedes,
hooked a centipede. I've
I
never
feel like
hooked
all
one.
bets are off with centipedes.
Yeah.
I don't
Do you
trust
think
it.
Yeah.
a centipede would climb up the hook with all of its
Probably.
legs?
Yes, they can.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So do you need like 2 snake hooks when you're hooking peds?
I just have rubber tip tongs and I just grab them. Don't even hook them.
That's protected contact too. It's a barrier method.
Yes, it is.
Between
Hell
your
yeah.
centipede and your fingies.
And they sometimes they'll turn around and they'll just bite the shit out of the tongs. And
Those
it's like, oh my
Viridis were doing
goodness.
it to me because I had to tong them when I was putting them in the proper container, and like they immediately like were latching on. I'm like, Jesus Christ! Like these things are little gremlins, and they're fast.
Feed him some chicken, dude. Get like a little piece of chicken and leave it in there. They'll munch
I
on
don't
it.
feel like they're gonna eat chicken. I don't. They're not. They're little.
Dude, I almost sent you some baby food in the box, but I sent you too many spiders and I couldn't fit it.
Like I don't. They don't strike me as the types that would go for that kind of stuff, just because of they're subterranean and I don't know. I don't think they will. I don't think they'll do it.
You're probably right, but I mean, it can't hurt to try. A little bit of baby food goes a long way. You know what I mean?
And how would I even know if they did? They're not big.
You can see the baby food that's been eaten. Like if you put it in
But
a little cuppy or
Got
something.
them together, so how would I know who ate the baby food? Who didn't?
Justin, I don't know. It's
I'm
not about
setting
that.
2 tall enclosures for 2 tiny centipedes for like. You're making this really complicated, and it doesn't
it's
have
tough,
to be.
Dude. You're right. You're right. I'm sorry.
It's already ass backwards because I'm using stupid tall containers for tiny centipedes.
You don't have to, dude. You could use tiny containers. They're just going to get out.
There has to be another way. There has to be a
taller container with more decor and still plenty of room between the top and the bottom. Just give them more space, more decor.
I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't. Just
How would you keep it, dude? What would be best for you? What would be best for you, Justin?
The same inner cubic inches or whatever volume, I guess is the proper term, but flat. And then figure out a way to do air holes that they can't get out of.
But then what happens when you open the lid and they're riding the lid when you want to feed them?
Yeah, what happens when it's
never out?
Yeah.
They're always hidden. Like it's it's like keeping more sand boas. It's just a tub of dirt with a piece of cork and some moss.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't see them out.
Yeah.
They'll probably come out at night, I'd imagine, but like I don't see them.
You should let me send you some of the bigger ones.
No, goddamn it. It's not happening, Phil. I can't.
Okay.
I can't.
You could. All you have to say is yes, and I'll take care of the rest. As long as you go to work, you'll get them.
Then I won't go to work. I will be sick on whatever day you might be sending those.
He packs for delays.
Then I'll go on vacation.
I will say that when Mike shipped us a box of Hottie Hottie, he said he was including a few extras and then didn't elaborate any further than that. And there was a part of me that was terrified that those extras were going to be centipedes that I wasn't prepared for. And he said, well, everything will fit in a deli cup. You'll be okay. And I was like, okay. And he sent an electric blue Aquila brachys because my female had just passed, like post pairing. And I'm not sure if she was egg bound or what happened, but she was paired, she was nesting, and then she was no longer with us.
It's weird.
That was a sad breeding update for us this year.
Yeah, that's always tough.
I think that she and the last one that we had before that was a GBB in 2024 that passed, and we believe egg bound, but I never dissected her. She's in my freezer. I was not prepared. She was my first spider, and I wasn't ready to open that can of worms.
Yeah, I hear that.
If you're looking for egg You had a what?
I had an
Some-
OBT that passed away the first after I paired her. I think last year. I remember
Yeah, that was a couple months ago, right?
that. It was last year.
Or sometime. I remember that. Or no, wait, I'm thinking of the Avic. That's
Oh no! The Avic dropped a dud sack, and then my Haiti also passed away
maybe that's what I'm
post-pairing.
thinking of.
I don't know. It all blends together, dude.
Have you dissected one that was egg bound before?
Me or Anna?
Anna.
I haven't.
The only one that I could potentially have that opportunity with is my GBB. But again, she was my first spider, and I'm probably going to do that this year because I need her out of my freezer. I need some freezer space back.
Curious what that
has Juju done that?
Yeah.
I don't know if he has dissected one that is egg bound or not. The last dissection that we did was a mature male because we wanted to see what the inside of a mature male's abdomen was like post passing.
Mhm.
Just like if you've ever seen a larger spider get injured, like their insides are like pretty gelatinous and can just kind of become their outsides if their like exoskeleton is damaged
Like
enough.
inside out sock.
But mature males, like their insides are like kind of wonky comparatively.
Whoa.
Less, and it seems to be like more condensed. It's like less soft
Ooh.
on the inside.
Whoa. Interesting.
More lean
Evolution.
for the female to eat.
If only.
Yeah.
Speaking of
Lean
GBB
cuisine.
males, we definitely have one cohabbed right now with a female. Hope he's fine.
Do you
He was-
lose a lot of GBB males? Do they get munched a lot?
Not anymore.
No.
This one, I haven't given up on him, but he's so shy that I feel like he needs more time with her. And he's in the equivalent of like a 40-gallon enclosure with her. So he's got plenty of space to get away.
Mhm.
Especially with GBBs, like we use a kind of fuck bin situation. So they have a lot of space to skedaddle, just like they would in the
Mhm.
wild versus when you're pairing. That's what they
That's the best
Tell
word
me-
for it.
tell me that you can think of a better word for a way that a mature male tarantula moves when they're trying to get away from something,
They shuffle away
but very fast.
very quickly.
But yeah, so with GBB specifically, it seems like their courtship just takes longer, at least in my experience. I know that some people have great success just dumping the males in and somehow it works. But I'll say the first pairing that we did this year, the male and the female tapped at each other and stood next to each other for hours. And the male felt
Whoa.
comfortable enough to turn around, face his ass to her, and start webbing. And she didn't jump him at all. Like they were very much like in that pairing and communication stage. And I do feel personally like that has a lot to do with how much time they had to kind of get used to the fact that the other one was there and kind of participate with one another. This other female with our smaller male has tapped a little bit, and she's like, she should be like reasonably freshly molted, so she shouldn't be in pre-molt, but she's just like not as like excited to be there with this smaller mature male. And she's on the smaller side, so I don't really want to pair her with the other like behemoth mature male that we have, even though he's like making sperm webs in his container. He's like ready to go round 2.
Locked and loaded.
Yeah, he's great. Both of those males came from Dritz. We sent him the list of females that we had, and he sent 9 mature males in one box, which we paired, except for the GBBs, all of the other ones in the span of like, I want to say 10 days, and got most of them like shipped out again. He sent a Marshali, 2 Balfouri, 2 GBB, H Polkapes, C Versicolor. Maybe one more that I'm not remembering off the top of my head. Oh, Escal.
Yes, the
And
Escal.
so we paired those all like mid-March, and now we have the Escal, and one of the C Versicolors are on a sack. One C Versi is, I think she's starting to nest, but we'll see. H Polkapes has laid a full dome, so I'm hopeful that she
Nice.
finally lays and
Nice.
doesn't trick me and molt again. that would hurt my feelings.
Yeah, that'd be a kick in the balls for sure.
Absolutely. Oh, and he sent to be Amelia, which is cohabbed. So that male isn't going anywhere. He lives with me probably for the rest of his life. We'll see. We'll see if he ever gets his shit together and then he can go somewhere else. But I don't have high hopes. I think that he will live with my girls till he passes.
Why are brachypelma giving you issues like that?
I am not sure. I'm not sure. Like, I feel like my ambient temps and humidity should be great for them.
Yeah, me too. That's why I'm confused.
The male that I received as penultimate, he matured with like kind of a wonky spot on his abdomen, and I'm not sure if he's more shy because his body is like maybe weaker.
Gimpy?
Yeah, he's a little gimpy. He's precious though. Like they're just such cute spiders. Mature males are just the best. They're my favorite. But both of our girls are also like really chill, and I have to wonder if that's also part of the problem because it's like the males don't know what to do. And all of the pairing videos that I watch with the Amelia, the females are like very like ready to go and kind of violent towards the males. But both of my girls are just very chill. I have a similar experience with GBBs. Is that like after a few years with them, all of our girls are pretty chill. Versus the females that I got from Dritz, we traded some larger GBBs for a bunch of slings that he has now run out of. And the girls that I tried to pair of his were much different behaviorally. And when I told Juju that I was bummed about that, he said, you know that those are acting like normal spiders. Like maybe your spiders are the weird ones and Dritz's are the normal ones.
I was going to say his GBBs were kind of mean.
I have never been, not never. I don't think I've been threat posed by a GBB in like years though. And then all of his GBBs threat posed me. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
That's rude.
They're from Boston.
Yeah, dude.
They have an accent that I don't understand yet.
Wicked.
And they love Dunkin' Donuts.
Revere Dunkin' Donuts, kid.
Dunkin' Donuts sucks, dude.
The S-Cows were very good.
Calm down over there. Okay. I just got a fucking Dunkin' Donuts gift card from work, okay? Let's calm down. All right.
It's nothing like the cannolis, though.
Yeah, you goddamn right.
Who else have we had interesting pairings with? S-Cow was so fast. It was another one of those pairings that I like psyched myself up for, and I was afraid that the male was going to get eaten or that it was going to be real violent. And he like
just knocked on the door, was like, hey.
He paced around I had them in a 29-gallon aquarium, and I put her enclosure in the middle, but like against the wall. And he paced for like hours until I like booped him with like a chopstick, and he like ran down, dropped onto her enclosure, like onto her cork bark, and then just stood still. And then he tapped really loudly, and she tapped really loudly, and then it was done.
Wow.
Yeah. They're like communication is so much more like loud without making sound. Like they move so much. Their movements are so much larger than say a GBB, which typically is like smaller movements, and they're like kind of touching toes and kind of deciding like, am I gonna get eaten? Are we gonna fuck? Like, what's going on? But S-Cow's like slapping on the door, like, wake up, girl, like it's time.
Yo, yeah. When we paired the HMAC, Warren's male knocked on the door and was like, "It's time." He was in and out.
I'll blow your house down.
Yeah, I'm coming in there.
I was expecting C. Marshali to be like more chill, because the first time that I paired my C. Darlingy, she was really chill, and she ate him. Poor George.
Oh, really? Really?
Yep.
I thought Certigyrus usually aren't too.
I walked away to go get a drink, and it was done, and she consumed him except for like one leg, like the entirety of him just gone.
Yeah.
R.I.P. George.
Yeah. Rip Michael Sarah. Rip George.
Yeah.
Went out like a ball.
Passed away. Poor guy. So do you know why that S-Cal laid its sack not on a wall? Do you think it's confused as to the orientation of its burrow?
I think she did that, and I think that it's my fault. So I paired all of those spiders at once and was expecting a much longer gestation time, and was obviously like misting everybody, doing everything right. But she was in a like temporary setup that I had reused for her pairing, because her big Exoterra does not fit inside of my aquarium, and it's very heavy. And I didn't want to put glass inside glass and then have to make a whole tent so it would fit correctly. So I put her in a large critter keeper that I had used to transport her in the past that I had just never cleaned out. So it had like her old webbing and stuff in it, and she just like went right back down into her old burrow. And then I didn't rehouse her back into her Exoterra, and then she laid it in on a very annoying piece of like burrow / cork. So I don't think that she necessarily made a mistake as much as I made a mistake with like not rehousing her soon enough.
Okay, I get you now.
But it had been like no time, it felt like. And when the Versicolor and the Escal laid their sacks on the same day, then I had a slight panic about how many spiders I paired back to back to back. So we don't know like how many sacks we might have in short form, because we paired all of the spiders from Dritz. We paired Davis species Panama. We paired 2 Imeras.
Nice.
We paired a
Davis
Darlene
species Panama are absolutely goddamn beautiful. Okay.
I am hoping to, with one of these sacks, trade for a few slings to raise up our own male, because I've had a lot of trouble with males that have been shipped.
Really? Why do you think that is?
Yeah, I would almost
I
think
don't know. It's like, and I don't know if they were always like this, like beforehand, but when attempting to pair the most recent Davis species Panama, which the T-spot was super amazing and let us sneak in on the Panama train because the Panama was already in California. So I got him from Victor at Vexotic Me, and the male had already been very silly with him, like spent hours like punching her in the face and never like getting underneath her. And I probably spent 20, 30 hours with the Panamas, and the girls were very gentle with him, but he just like never really got it together. And there were 2 times in the course of 2 days where they were like close and I blinked and then they were gone on the opposite side of the enclosure. And I was like, did you do that? Like, and then it happened one more time, the same thing. Whereas like for the rest of those 20 hours, like they just chilled next to each other, no running, no nothing. So I shipped him after that. I was like, I've attempted for, I think it was like 2 weeks. I was like, I don't feel comfortable like bogarting this male that has like a list of ladies he needs to get to. So if it worked with that girl, great. And if it didn't, I'm not willing to keep risking it. So I sent him to Christina at Wonderland Exotics, who had 1 or 2 females to work with. And I haven't heard if the pairing was successful. I'll have to ask her. But I've had a similar thing with GBB males, and I'm not sure if that's what's going on with the smaller GBB male we got from Dritz. Is sometimes like when I receive a male and they've been shipped, sometimes they're just like I don't know if they don't have any more in the tank after the shipping stress or what happens.
They're disoriented, maybe like
but it's like they just never get it right.
Erectile dysfunction type deal,
something like that. And it has been more with GBBs. We had 1 male that was shipped that was old, and like I think he got it together, but we aren't for sure. That was my first pairing with Juju, was my first spider, my GBB, and this like elderly male GBB,
geriatric, an older gentleman.
Yes, and he attempted to fuck her molt.
Nice.
Solidly like tried to get it on with her molt, and she's just like waiting for him.
What a literal stud. The old man's trying to get off.
Yeah, we named him Blue Starfish. He's a cute dude. Yeah. So after I think this set, my hope is that our holdbacks from 2024 will start to have males, so I won't have to ship males in. Or I can like purchase them penult and then not have to worry about that. Because the one time that I shipped a penult male and then he matured with me, he paired with like 3 girls. which for a GBB is like
Damn.
It's gotta
is
be a
real
record.
good. Yeah.
Man's got around.
He did. His run was ended by a girl that saw him, stuck a fang in his head, and then dropped him. So it was a
Damn.
disrespectful end to a very sweet
Damn.
male. So that sucked. That was another.
That's iconic, low key.
Yeah.
Like low key, super iconic.
Yeah. I cried. I wasn't prepared. It was like my first solo pairings where these GBBs and one of the girls just disrespectfully murdered him and then dropped him. Didn't even eat him.
Damn.
But she did produce our only good sack from 2024. So at the end of it, like she was good, but I still was upset. She had a label on her enclosure that just said murderer for like 2 years.
That's actually really funny.
But yeah, for 2024, we paired 3 GBBs, had 3 sacks. Only one of them was viable, and one was from my first spider, and she passed away. We think egg bound. And then 2025 paired 3 spiders, had 3 sacks, and 2 were viable. The one that wasn't viable was when we paired with a really old, mature male, and we posit that might have been the issue, is he just didn't have it left in him. So yeah, hopefully we'll pair more GBBs and have a better percentage, because we went from 33% to 50%, like good, or 33 to 66. Yeah, I can count. But hopefully we'll just kind of keep increasing like good sacks by kind of reducing the issues that we saw in past years.
What projects are you kind of like, I don't want to say building up, but like building up for the future? You know, are you getting into any old world, any more old world things?
There's some
Yeah.
talk of
What are we-
heterothele.
I know you sent a picture of some pokies at some point.
Yeah. So we have one, I would say subadult pivotata female. We have a PMET, I would say juvenile, and 4 slings. A few regalis slings. I think they might all be male. They were part of a mystery box from Amy at Fang Hub, and she was so excited to send them. And the mystery box had so many males in it, and she felt so bad because they were just like unsexed spiders. And I was like, I think all these, they were like 3rd instar regalis. I was like, I think all of them are male, and she's like, there's no way. I think they're all male.
That's
Which is
actually
cool.
hilarious.
Like I'm fine. I love getting males. I love the way that they act. I love raising them out and getting to participate in like breeding projects. My boss just called me. That was weird.
No, you're in trouble.
I know.
Uh-oh.
Frantically typing. What the fuck do you want?
Hey.
Oh my gosh. Can you guys punt me to the room real quick?
Yeah.
Smitters, you got it. Boop. Yeah. It's a lot of spiders she's got going on over there.
Yeah.
Escals, a lot of Victori, Versi, GBBs for days, dude. Anna's GBB queen.
I don't know. Did Dritz? I sent that mail to Dritz. I don't know if he ever made it to the finish line.
Who?
I had a male green bottle.
Oh, he might have got fucked.
Probably. It was like
Yeah.
I think that's the I don't know if that was in the box with the classy or not. I think it might have been, but
sometimes those green bottle blue women, man.
He basically was like, "Are you prepared for this male to die?" And I was like, "You either burn out or fade away." You know.
Listen, man.
Again, he's here for a good time, not a long time.
Yep, bro. He's got one job, okay? And he's coming to Massachusetts, and he's gonna fuck, all right? Or he's gonna try.
Boston.
Yeah. He's gonna bang, or he's gonna get banged.
Seriously,
two.
why is there a Dunkin' Donuts on like every single corner?
So
Why?
I'm gonna be honest, dude. I could go outside my front door, look to the left, and there's a Dunkin' Donuts at the end of the street. I'm not even kidding.
When I was up there, we would be driving on the road, and there would literally be one on one side and directly across one on the other side.
There's
and I'm like,
another Dunkin' Donuts. Yeah,
any sense?
yeah. It's
What is wrong with
just
these people and their Dunkin' Donuts?
it's
dude?
cultural. What's wrong with us, dude? Oh God, all of it.
It's not even that
Everything.
good.
It's not about that, dude.
It is like the
it's a
most
cultural thing.
the
It's a
most
colloquialism.
mid coffee. Starbucks is so much better than Dunkin', dude.
Dude,
And
if
that
and when
hurts.
you visit, we'll go to Dunks. I'm gonna get some
We have a
Dunks with you.
Dunkin' here, and I don't get it. I don't
Yeah,
like.
but it's not the same. It's not the same, dude.
Maybe I don't know. Do y'all have
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A up there?
Yeah, we got Chick-fil-A. Yeah.
You don't have Bojangles or Waffle House though,
No, we don't have that shit. No, I wish we had Waffle House, bro. I'd live there.
dude. I got one like 5 minutes down the road from my house.
It's probably so good.
So good.
It's probably dangerous.
No, that one's actually not bad. The one's on the other side of town. It's a different story.
Yeah.
There's one in particular.
Bojangles, dude. I don't think I ever done seen one of those.
They're all right. They ain't so much.
What do you even get there?
It's like chicken.
We've got a Dave's Hot Chicken. The same plaza as the Dunks near me. And then we also just put a Raising Cane's in. But I will not be spending money at Raising Cane's due to the ridiculous portion size and prices.
I think I've just been talking about us getting one here. I've never been, so I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not writing home about it, I'll tell you that. It looks pretty mid. Last time it's funny, dude. Last time I was at my mechanic, he was freaking out, dude. He was like, "Dude, did you go to the new Raising Cane's? Like, I went yesterday. I got chicken whatever sandwich. It was so good." And I was like, "Dude, get away from me."
You know what I love
No,
is when Dritz gets fired up, and his Boston accent just gets heavier and heavier and heavier. Like he gets more and more hood the angrier he gets. It sounds more and more like a character from Goodfellas.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. I think he's from the town. Yeah.
That was such a good movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It was such a good movie, dude. It was filmed down the street.
Happened in your backyard.
Yeah, dude. Literally 20 feet from me, right over
See,
there.
you get cool movies like that. You know what my town's like super famous for and known for?
The Kazoo Museum.
Forrest Gump.
Dude, what? That's super cool.
A lot of Forrest Gump was filmed here. But they don't even it's not even set in South Carolina. It's set in like Alabama, but like it was actually filmed here.
Why wouldn't they just film it in Alabama?
Because it's nicer here. I don't know.
Yeah, but aren't you guys like the same climate? Like, you know what I'm saying? Isn't Alabama just right near you guys? Isn't it down there?
No, it's like a 6-hour drive, dude.
Oh, I don't know, dude. It's all the same down there, man.
It's on the Gulf of
You're
America.
on the Gulf.
No,
You're
we're
on the Gulf,
Atlantic.
dude. It's a big pond.
But Forrest Gump, everyone's like, "Oh my god."
Dude, that's cool, man. Like, I don't know. That was an entertaining movie.
It's so overrated. It's good. Like, I'll give you that. It's a good movie. But it's really not worth the hype.
Wow.
And they lean on it way too heavily around here.
Around these parts.
Like, I find it cooler that Full Metal Jacket was shot on Parris Island where the Marine recruiting depot is here. At least I think it was. I don't know.
Oh, really? That's pretty cool. That's actually really cool. I didn't know that. Wow. You learn something new every day, Justin, you know?
Yeah, here in 29 Palms, dude. That's the 2 Marine recruiting depots.
Wow.
We have the air
That's
station.
absurd.
All the jets where they do all the training of the jets. and pilots.
The jets.
And everything's super secretive. Like there's signs all over the air station that say no photography.
Do you take pictures?
No, I ain't trying to get arrested, bro. They don't play.
That's awesome. Yeah, I don't think you'd do well in prison.
Thanks.
Oh. Okay, Anna is alive. She told us.
Oh, is she good?
Yeah, she said I'm alive.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna say.
I
Oh,
couldn't
there
tell.
she is, dude.
It had like add to stage over her face, so I couldn't see if she was still on the phone or not. So
Yeah, I survived. An urgent HR call. What I do when I'm not watching spiders do things.
Save lives via HR.
If only. But yeah, HR is great.
Put fires out.
Spiders are greater.
Facts.
Like the more chill part of my life is the part with animals versus the part with people.
I feel that. You're telling me.
I feel like my HR solution is everyone just shut up and go back to doing your job. You got a problem with each other? Sweet. Go out back and settle it. I'll give $5 to the winner. But after that, it's over.
You got to get back to work.
You're moving on. You got to be BFFs now.
Or else.
Ain't got
So
time
yeah,
for that.
before I jumped off, you were asking if we have any old world plans. We sent 2 H. villicella males to Tom Saxon, and he produced 15 sacks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw that the other day. I was like, oh my god.
Oh my god.
And that
Wait,
was at
15
4,
from 2?
from 4. So we get, I think, splits from about half the sacks. We'll see how that all goes, but
God,
pretty
that's a lot
big
of
deal.
tiny spiders.
Duritz paired 1 female with one of our males before he got eaten. We shipped another male to a friend of ours in the server for her first breeding project, which is so exciting. Like part of raising out males means that like you get to share those things with people that maybe don't have the experience, because a lot of vendors and more like professional breeders might choose to just work with people that are more experienced. And I know that based on our GBB success, like more people are willing to work with us, which is obviously cool, but it means that we're coming from a place of privilege where other people might not get those same opportunities.
I mean, I can understand with some of those higher risk sort of species
Rarer.
where, you know, it's harder. Yeah, like it's more, it requires a little more experience, and the chances of things going sideways are high. Like I can understand from that perspective with certain projects for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like me with the Bambus. Like I want to. I'm like, do I keep the male and try and pair him, or do I just send him to Dritz because I don't know what I'm doing? Like, what do you?
No,
what do
you
do?
motherfucker. No, Justin. You're gonna keep him. You're gonna try to pair him.
I
then
am,
you're
but
gonna
I'm
send him
just
to
saying,
Dritz.
like this is. I feel like this
No.
is one of those instances where it's like
It's not.
there's a
We
very
talked
high
about this.
likelihood where something's gonna get messed up, and that male.
No,
that
you're gonna be a stud. You're gonna be a stud, Justin.
No, I don't know.
Yeah,
Time will
you're
tell.
gonna feed him up with baby food.
I think that there is a part of the hobby where you end up accepting a certain amount of loss. And I don't think that having, like, this is a species you're really passionate about. And I think that you may be doing yourself a disservice by like not trying.
Agreed.
GBBs were something that I was really passionate about, and I tried and I did a good job, surprisingly. And obviously, again, I'm coming from learning so much of this with Juju and getting to apply like protected contact ideas to breeding. That was our first pairing as GBBs. We just put them in a bin, in a big bin that wasn't, was like opaque, and they went in there and did the thing. Eventually they cohabbed for like more than 24 hours, and she didn't eat him. She also didn't eat the male when I paired her the next year as well. But I think it's if you give away all of your mails and you don't have people send you mails, you're never going to be able to build that experience. And there are also like probably a lot of breeders near you that you might be able to go and like participate with and learn with. You gain so much experience by seeing things and like getting to experience them hands-on. A lot of the people that go to the Underdark get like a crash course in breeding, and you level up that experience so quickly. And that is kind of my entire keeping with Juju. I learned so much from him so fast. And the same thing with learning as an advisor. You just learn things so quickly when you have a mentor type situation. And the same is true when you're working hands-on with spiders. But yeah, find someone local, hang out with them, pair some spiders.
It really helps to have someone like Dritz who just knows or has just done it all, you know, and he'll just show you in his basement. Just come on over. We'll pair the spider, figure it out.
Hammer it out.
Yeah, you gotta come to Massachusetts, Justin. You gotta make the pilgrimage up north.
Yeah, I definitely need to sort of look at a calendar and figure out when I can make that happen. It's not a long flight.
Just put some bambus in your pocket and then show up.
Yeah, isn't that how that you can actually, you know, spiders do great with X-rays, so that would be fine with through TSA and everything.
I think they'd question why the vial was where it was.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Justin. It would be it'd be a sticky situation.
But
I've just had them hand check them. I don't put them through the X-rays. I just hand them a box full of spiders, and then TSA looks at them and says, "Oh, these are not illegal substances. You may go through."
Are you serious? I was super being facetious and kidding.
I've moved a lot of spiders on planes. And
That's
it really
awesome.
is dependent on the airline, because TSA does not care. It is not a prohibited item per TSA, but it may be a prohibited item per your airline. So depending on if TSA and the airline communicate, which they may in smaller airlines.
They probably don't.
Looking at you, Daytona Beach.
That is a small airport.
Yeah, so Orlando has never had problems with me, and I've brought some spiders.
That's ironic that Daytona would have an issue.
That's
they
awesome.
called the airline and said, "Do you guys allow this?" And they said, "Absolutely not."
Like Daytona of all places.
Yeah, it's a small airport, and when people ask about flying with inverts, we kind of say the same thing. Like TSA, it's not a prohibited item via TSA, but it technically may be prohibited via your airline. So it only matters if TSA is going to call your airline and tattle on you. But yeah, I have like pictures of spiders in like a stuffed animal backpack when I like flew with like some Theraphosas, and I've flown with all sorts of spiders.
What?
Yeah,
that's
and
crazy. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've not flown with any spiders or centipedes just yet.
I mean, that's probably nothing. Like, you think about all the other weird shit they see on a daily basis, dude. That's probably like nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
The world.
That is crazy. I didn't even know that was possible, and I was like super kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was flying back and forth so often that was like a common thing for me to like have in my pocket or have in my backpack or have in a box, like not a shipping box, but like a USPS box. Just like, will you hand check this, please? And they'll be like, what's in it? And then I'll have to tell them spiders. And then someone is willing to pick up the box, but a lot of people are not.
Wow.
Open it?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I keep them all in clear things so they can look and like make sure that there's nothing illegal in there. And it's just really big spiders. And then I ask, if you had to guess, how much do you think this box would cost retail? And it's like, oh yeah, this is like $1,500 in spiders. Like, please don't drop it.
Wow. That's super cool. I remember getting a big box of centipedes at Delta, and I opened the box, and all the Delta workers were like, holy shit, that's what was in that box. And they were like, "Oh my god, do you eat those? Is that for food?" And I was like, "No, man. I'm gonna make this bang."
Eat him alive, like a Twizzler.
Oh, look, the mature male Balfouri that we sent that was Dritz's paired. So maybe more Balfouri babies. We love that.
Now, would you keep all those with mom?
I kept the whole sack with mom until like fourth-ish, maybe fifth instar.
That's
Um,
fire. That's fire.
She was such a good mom. Like,
That's awesome.
and she was a spider that we received as a freebie from Tyler at Spider Shop. And we were buying a different spider at the time. And he's like, "Do you think that you would be interested in this spider? Her leg is really messed up and she may be too old to breed." Like, I was like, I would absolutely love a messed up spider. Like, that is my favorite spider. If I could pick, I always want the one that's missing a leg or has a bum leg. And she had a leg that was like it looked like the end of an umbrella.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
it took
just
her
like that
2
J, huh?
molts to fix it completely.
Mm.
And then she had babies last year, and I kept most of them. So
Oh,
I
wow.
will have her daughters for future breeding projects. But she was my first old world.
Wow.
And definitely like made me a spider shop stand forever. She was like, "Do you want this spider? It's kind of messed up." And I was like, "Yes. How did you know that this is exactly the
Please.
spider I
Thank
want?"
you.
Um,
I would love that.
yeah. Her name is Winnie, and she's the best. But yeah, she was a really good mom. She laid her sack and then spent weeks making like webbing for them to traverse.
Oh,
Once
wow.
they like have their normal webbing, but they'll make additional webbing because the babies don't really web on their own to begin with. And
Mhm.
I separated them when they started making their own burrows, like next to her burrow.
Mhm.
Oh,
And we
okay.
hadn't molted in a long time, and I was like, I don't know if she's going to double clutch. I don't know if she's going to molt, but I don't want her to be stressed by other spiders while she's trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
I do think that she could have lived with them forever. I would have obviously needed to upgrade her enclosure to something much bigger. She's in
Mhm.
like a 20-quart Sterilite bin. And it's like set up a little bit weird because I set it up because for most of the time I had her, she would never burrow at all. I think because of her bum leg. Like she just like didn't have the same mobility that another spider would. So she did a lot of stuff on top of the ground. So she has this like V shape of cork that she webs up and she like perches on it, but she still doesn't like really burrow much at all.
Interesting. My Balfouri loves to burrow. Mine love to burrow.
Yeah, all of her
Very
slings,
interesting.
all of her children burrow, but she does
Wow.
not.
Like I said, I don't see mine. I catch a glimpse every once in a while, but it's usually
More.
after lights are out, and I'll see her for. She'll sit still for maybe 10
Seconds.
seconds, and then she disappears.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh wow,
Yeah.
it's a really good spider. See you in 3 months."
That's how I feel about my Akaya.
Me.
Mine are out most mornings. Like if I go in to turn on the lights because they're not automated, Phil. They'll be out hanging out, but once I start moving stuff around and bumping things, they disappear pretty much immediately. So I haven't seen my male in a very long time. I don't know what he's been doing, but
Hopefully eating.
females. Yeah, I feed him periodically. Stuff disappearing. Like I'm not seeing crickets setting up shop and living in there, so they're getting ate. But he molted a couple weeks ago.
Is he ready?
No, I don't know. Actually, he's got to be getting close, but those females aren't. So I need to slow him down some.
Good luck.
Yeah, send him to Andy
Cat
or
don't do
anyone.
it. This cat's about to knock over these damn mice. Hell no.
Oh no. Are they alive?
Yeah,
Bleh.
me. I know.
Wait, you also keep live mice, huh?
I do. Just a couple.
That feels
Although beef is eating now, so I might
it's almost time.
send him to the
Great Beyond.
Great Beyond, and by that I mean my Taiwan beauty snake enclosure. after being humanely euthanized, obviously. But we'll see. I might also just keep them because I have 22 blood python eggs in the incubator. So usually I start live is good to have, especially with some of the picky ones. So I probably should keep that colony rolling, but I don't. 2 small colonies is really not that much work. It's really not that much.
Little fuckers already knocked
You
him
ever
over.
had a mouse escape?
Me?
No.
That's not a situation I can afford to happen. I can't have that happen. I cannot.
I had some rats get out when I had more rodents going on.
You'd
But
see
those
me on
were-
the news. You
those
would
were-
see me on the news if that happened,
Those were set up
and
in
not
like
in a good way.
separate barn, not like a house. Those were over my parents' house when I had them.
Oh no. I bet your parents were super stoked on
I mean,
rats.
I caught most of them, and then the ones that I couldn't, I got the pellet gun and handled.
Oof.
They got relocated to heaven.
Yeah. An interesting relocation choice.
Some of them I couldn't catch, like because there was some boards and stuff in there, and like as soon as you get close enough to them to grab them, they dip back there, and so it was to the point where it's like I can't have y'all reproducing. Fortunately, it was only like 2 of the group, but it sucked, dude. I hated it. I actually got attached to the rats. I enjoyed those. Those
Rats are tough,
they
man.
had
They're
personalities, man.
really
The mice I
they're
don't
really scary.
feel as
No,
bad about the rats.
Rats are very smart.
they have a
was
tough
all bad.
bite. They're big. They're stinky.
I
No
think
rats for Phil.
that like may be a product of them being treated like feeders instead of pets. The stinky
Fact.
parts. I feel like
Fact.
from what little I know based on photos, because I am not prepared. If I make eye contact with too many pet rats, I'm afraid I will have my own. So
Yeah.
similar to spiders, if I look too long, I will want some. And I don't think that I could do that to myself, to my cats, to my snakes. It just feels like a weird next step to get pet rats when I have so many pets that would eat rats.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
sucked. Anytime I had to call, extra males or old males or whatever, I never enjoyed it because I did like them. Like you walk in and they all kind of come to the front of the tub and are looking at what you're doing, and they just seem much more cognizant of what's going on compared to mice. And so when it came time to get the freezer full again, I always felt like a real piece of shit, but it's part of the game.
It's part of the gig. Yep.
I think I will allow the professionals to do that part of the gig. I get mine in a bag and they're frozen and they all look the same and it is just better. I was vegan when I started keeping reptiles. So
Wow, really?
yeah, Juju didn't think that I would ever like be interested in snakes to begin with because of that. And I was like,
Wow.
it's not really about me. Like I can't have a vegan snake. I can't like change the snake for what it is, but I don't have to keep those feeders as live things and then do that whole process myself. I don't have the heart for that.
I really wish that I didn't have to. It was out of necessity, unfortunately.
Little filet mignon.
Yeah, little beef, man. But now he's a freaking rock star. Tease feeder.
Love that.
Yeah.
Well, did we have anything else? We're at 3.5.
Yeah, this was a great episode.
Have plenty of stuff and you can edit out the rest. You wanted to talk about protected contact. Kara had a question. But we can table it if you want.
It's up to y'all.
I can give you a little protected contact spiel if you'd like. And
I don't have to get up crazy early or nothing.
Yeah, if you want to hit us with the
yeah, I can give you the kind of quick and dirty protected contact spiel, and we can have Juju or me send some photos that you can use with them, because I think that kind of helps understand protected contact. And at some
Mhm.
point I will have some recordings of all of this, because I do so much of this all the time that I should have recordings, and instead I just send people to a tarantula cat video for the bag method, which is like, I love her, so it's fine, but like by now I should already have my own talking for like smaller slings and bigger spiders and all that jazz. But the definition that we kind of are operating on for protected contact, like that, and what that means is like the keeper is managing the amount of space the animal has to access at any given time during interactions. We think about that as another, like a barrier method, the barrier between the spider or the animal and the outside. That means that a catch cup is protected contact. Your hand could be protected contact. The bathtub, the bag method, airlocks, snake hooks are protected contact. So like reptile keepers especially, I think, are much more familiar with it. They just don't know it. False enclosures. So like the fuck bin for breeding, or setting up a small enclosure and doing all of your packing for shipping inside of that. So when the spider pops out of its vial, it just ends up hiding in a bit of dirt or bit of cork instead of into your vents. It's also seen in veterinary training, vending and keeping circles, creating some kind of barrier. Venomous trades, they're also using airlocking, but it's essentially just managing the animal. And for me specifically, this came out of being like a prior arachnophobe, and this allowed me to ensure that my lizard brain couldn't make a mistake, because at the end of the day, I'm a much bigger risk to my spider than my spider is to me. So airlocks allow me to manage a spider's movement in a way that is safe for them, which is great. But yeah, so I find that I use that even in breeding. That fuck bin is, again, another version of protected contact. I have enclosures inside a giant enclosure, which allows my males to both kind of
Skedaddle.
skedaddle, but they also get to act like actual mature males in the wild. They have a lot of space to roam. They happen upon their female, and it isn't as like quick and dirty as it is for some other people. And I'm okay with that. Like the mature male GBB has been in that bigger enclosure for about a week. And if he doesn't act right, then he'll stay in that enclosure for another couple weeks, and just until he starts getting comfortable enough to start roaming. And at that point, we'll try again. But yeah, that is kind of protected contact in a nutshell. I think that it gets kind of a bad rap because people believe that you are using protected contact because you're afraid. But really, like, we use protected contact for a lot of reasons. For the spider's safety, for the safety of our other animals, for efficiency. I would say that I can pack like fast venomous spiders with zero risk to me or to the animal much faster than somebody who is like trying to coax them out and get them into a vial and maybe chasing the spider around the room. Like, is it a perfect thing? I would say no, because obviously there's always times where maybe it would be faster for me just to reach in and like pinch grab a spider. But I don't want to do that.
I definitely don't want to do that.
And some people have the mechanical prowess, they absolutely can. So no shame to people who have those mechanical abilities, but I do not. Whereas like I can pack, 50, 100 spiders myself now. Whereas when I started, it would take me hours to pack like half a dozen because I was afraid, because I didn't have as many tools in my toolkit. And now I think the biggest number that I have shipped now is like 130 or something in one day.
Oh, wow. That's quite a few.
And luckily, like a lot of those ended up being P. Victorii, but like I shipped, 50 something GBBs to Dritz. And I am now at a point where I can move all of those very quickly because I learned everything with an extra layer of safety for my spiders and for me. And I think that even if you end up not using protected contact, learning all of those tools means that you have way more options. And this is especially good when you have a particularly defensive spider or a fast spider or for
Both.
keepers who are like less experienced with shipping, something that maybe they're concerned about, they were never concerned when it like lived in its enclosure, but now you got to get it into a tiny vial. And you have to be very close to that spider to make that happen. So it totally changes the game versus like normal keeping. So for shipping, it completely invaluable. I could not do what I do without that as an option. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I
Wow.
don't know like why anybody would frown upon
Why?
doing that, because
Yeah.
it's like, I don't know about anybody else, but I don't have any desire to get bit, whether it's, you know, be a bad bite or not. I kind of just don't want to know. Let's save some of the mystery, you know.
Yeah.
Like if that makes me, I don't know, a wimp or something, like so be it. Call me.
Yeah, you have soft hands, Justin.
If me not getting chomped on by any of the species I keep, so be it.
I
Like,
think
if
that
that's-
the
if that's
same
the
kinds of
measuring stick,
people,
that's
yeah,
dumb.
the same kinds of people that tout that free handling is the right decision for HOTS are also going to be the kinds of people that say, "Oh, you're doing this because you're afraid." It's like, no, I'm doing this because it's efficient, because it's
Safety.
for
And
the
I have a
spider.
brain.
Because I would like all of my fingers and toes to be attached to me, because I don't want to find out how it is to get bit, because I don't want to chase a spider up the wall. I can't reach my ceiling. If a spider gets out and onto the ceiling, I'm done. I'm cooked. I've only had one escapee ever, and it was not related to packing, shipping, rehousing. I was newer in my keeping, and I had an Exoterra with a glass replacement lid on the floor. It two sitting next to each other. And my cat jumped on it and shattered the glass lid. And I want to say he was close to 8 inches. A P. regalis mature male got out.
It's always the damn cats, man.
And it was my fault. I don't know why I thought that was okay, or why I thought that a cat couldn't break glass. But I was so lucky that nobody was hurt, that I wasn't hurt, that my cats weren't hurt. That is a bite that I would fear could be deadly to a cat.
Mhm.
And I'm also lucky that that was the enclosure that broke, because the enclosure next to him was his girlfriend.
No.
And I would, a
That
mature
worked
male is a much better option to have out than a full-grown adult
Mama.
P. regalis.
Mama.
I cried. I sobbed. I screamed at Juju. He wasn't there. They were on the phone, and he's like, "You need to calm down. You cannot do this way. You will not find it. You are risking things." So I yelled, and he waited. Patience of a saint, that man. When I lose my marbles, I can't remember losing my marbles like that very often, and maybe never about a spider thing. But I put on gloves. I grabbed a large critter keeper and took the lid off, and I worked in concentric circles out, and he was on my wall. He was less than 10 feet from a hole about this big in my ceiling. And if he'd
Ooh.
gotten to that, then I would have been on the news for not a good reason. It would have, that was we're taking the cats out, and we are taking the spiders out. We're going to have to am I going to have to tent my house? Do we light it on fire? Like, what's the protocol for an 8-inch spider in the walls?
Burn it down.
But I caught him. There's a picture on Reddit. It's like, I posted it because I wanted to show that like everybody makes mistakes, and especially like when people get advice from me on Reddit now, like they need to know that I'm not perfect. And that particular brand of not perfect is like the worst kind. Giant old world on your wall. But I put my giant catch cup over him. I got him in. I cried some more, and I shipped him the very next day. With a bunch of other spiders.
Wow.
I'm like, I can't do this. These need to go. They can't be here. So meltdown aside, I named him Nightmare, and he was fine in shipping.
He probably did great.
Yeah, he was great. Huge male.
What a stud.
Yeah. He did not make babies, but he also didn't eat my cat. So a win's a win, I guess.
Yeah, positive.
Yeah.
Very positive.
But yeah, protected contact saved me. It saves my hobby. And it lets me like work in ways that I think other keepers might not, because they don't know it's an option. I love getting to tell people about the fuck bin, especially people who are pairing GBBs, because they're like, how did you do it? How did you pair 6 spiders and get 6 sacks? And it's like,
The
well,
fuck bin.
the fuck bin.
That's
Truly.
how.
Magic of
It's similar to the sex dungeon.
Yeah,
The fuck bin.
exactly. The same, basically. Mine is bigger and I keep isopods in it. It's bioactive.
Do you have a sticker on your fuck bin that says "I love girl farts," or is that just me?
That's just you. I would put that on there though. You want me to
Okay.
put an I love art sticker on there? I would.
I was just curious. Yeah, asking for a friend, really.
Yeah, I guess we could put stickers on the fuck bin. I never really thought about it because I take like really bad photos through the not very clear plastic.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I have an "I love girl farts" sticker on it.
I love that.
Yeah, my mother asked me why it was there, and I was like, "Why
Why
isn't
wouldn't
it?"
it be there?
It says it right
that's
there
where
on
it
the
goes.
sticker.
Mom, that's where it goes.
And everything has to be in its place.
Right? Yeah. What am I, a degenerate?
Yeah.
Psychotic.
Truly psychotic.
Come on, Mom.
You wouldn't get it.
What do we live in a barn? You're embarrassing me in front of my friends.
In front of my peds.
Yeah, God, Mom. Now the centipedes think I'm a fool. They thought I loved girl farts.
As is tradition, they should.
Yeah.
All the mics need to know.
Every single mic. All of them.
Yeah. For those listening, if you didn't know, all of the centipedes are named Mike.
All the male centipedes are named Mike. Some variation, some variety, some iteration of Mike, Michael, whatever you want to call him. Mike.
They're all
Do you think
canon
Mike is
fodder.
offended that you only name the peds that are gonna die after like boning a few times after him?
He he said something to me today. He was like, dude, that really wasn't that creative or something. And I was like, dude, I feel attacked. Like, I think it's kind of hilarious.
It's the low
Like,
hanging.
Yeah, I think that's wicked funny. Like, because he used to not be into centipedes, and then a couple of things transpired, and now he wants centipedes. You know?
He's trying.
None
Yeah,
big
he's
deal
trying
for
to
him.
indoctrinate me into his cult.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
It's not
yeah,
happening.
The
Not
MASH
getting me.
disciple.
The MASH disciple. Yeah. Yeah. It's only a matter of time, Justin, before you too are a MASH disciple.
It might be because of mint legs.
I'll never
Nobody
convert.
can say no to a mint leg.
You're not getting me.
He has your
I'm a
FedEx
strong will
address.
and power. Unlike Mike.
It's only a matter of time, dude. Yeah, Mike.
Mike folds.
I remember the first dude. He saw me. I was popping centipede genitals at Dritz's house, and he walked in the room in the basement, and he was like, "Dude, put that away." And he just turned around and left. And that was like my first interaction with Mike seeing a centipede. He's like, "Dude, get that out of here. Put that away."
What a gem.
I know, a wholesome individual. He's, well on his way to
Petery.
becoming a centipede. Yeah, Petery, becoming a centipede extraordinaire. He has that gravid female I gave him. I gave him Captain Mike, the male Captain Mike. So hopefully he'll be able to get some things done this weekend.
That
It's a big
female's
deal.
going to get him. His name's going to be Captain Crunch.
It could be, dude. He's got some big women.
Captain Crunch. Oh no. That's too good.
Rip Michael Cera. Too soon. Taken from us.
Taken too soon. Yeah, it's gone too soon.
Is that the one that the behavior was misread and it was angry
Yeah.
behavior and not?
Yeah, I had a 50-50 shot on that one. It's like, this is good or bad. I thought it was good, and it turned out to be really bad.
She was hungry.
Poor guy was in there probably calling for help, like, somebody get me out of here.
Hell, please get me out of here. She's
I was
huge.
like, it's happening.
Oh, they're having sex. Yeah, this is great. She's like
Jeez.
killing him.
It's like
Ass
fucking
first.
eating his head.
Yeah, dude, I found his head.
Jesus.
And like a couple of little legs. That was all that was
Yeah,
left.
dude, it was
No
fucked.
survivors.
Oh man, she ate his whole body.
No
I mean, at
evidence.
least you didn't waste him.
Yeah, you're right. No waste around here. Not around these parts.
Yeah.
Do you think that a centipede would eat like a recently passed spider?
Yeah, I've done it.
Really?
Yeah. My mature male Haiti for my first pairing. He died after he fucked. So instead of throwing him away, I just gave him to a centipede and she ate him.
I mean, I guess they eat like rotting stuff in the wild.
Yeah, there's tons of observations on iNaturalist of them eating like dead shit. So yeah, I don't know. He ate all of it. Abdomen, carrot, like the whole shebang.
That's what my isopods are in the fuck bin for. Like if a male gets maunched.
The carcasses.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
My GBB male last year, like he paired with all my females. So he just lived out the rest of his life in the big bin and then he returned to the earth.
That's so cool.
He went out like a
That's
baller.
so cool.
Yeah.
He just died and became dirt. What a fucking stud, dude.
Yeah.
Michael Cera's dirt somewhere, you know? He died and became dirt somewhere.
Yeah.
Reincarnated as dirt.
A quick reincarnation for sure.
Shout out Michael Cera.
But yeah,
Gone
it was
but not forgotten.
truly. It was pretty cool to be able to pair GBBs and finish with a male and just have him still there. You like get through everything. It's like, all right, like we're doing okay.
He's a champion.
He paired with both of the girls and then he walked for another month or so.
And then he
Didn't eat
passed.
again, and then he passed. And then the isopods
Yeah.
ate him.
Yeah.
My
Like
isopods are also
Bruce Willis in Armageddon.
yeah. But yeah, like males, when they start to decline, like they don't have a good option really. They'll just keep looking for females or they'll stop and they'll sit in a curl. I do feel
And
much
die.
better when I get to either use my mature males myself or ship them off because after
Mhm.
watching a couple of mature males like degrade over time
Mhm.
and just how long they seem to be like suffering is the
Zombie?
wrong it's a human word. I don't know that it is suffering for them, but
Struggling. Yeah.
struggling is a great word for that because they like will sit in a curl and then you flood them. You basically drown them and then they're like, okay, I'm alive again. But then they won't drink on their own unless you do the same thing all over again. And it feels like you're prolonging the inevitable and they just don't have any good days left.
Yeah.
For my like vertebrate animals, I'm very against that. I would rather be like a week too early than like a day too late. And it always feels like if you're keeping a mature male forever, that like you are so far beyond too late.
Yeah. Yeah.
Males go out doing what they love, or they pair and immediately pass. I've had that happen a couple of times, and it's just like, were you just holding on for this one time?
Yeah, man. Guy was trying to nut. What a stud.
That's it.
Had to do what he had to do.
There's no more race to win when you've already crossed the finish line.
Amy sent me her Davis species Panama last year, and he paired amazingly with one of my girls.
Wow.
And then immediately passed, like hadn't even made another sperm web. It was in perfect condition still. And he was like, I guess kind of older, so it didn't surprise me, but he only paired with the one female and then passed. So I felt a little bit cheated. And then she molted out. And my other girl that hadn't been super receptive molted twice in the span of 4 months. So like it made sense that she wasn't receptive because she decided to molt instead.
Spiders are weird.
Yeah. It's
She
probably
just
a
said-
lot like working in a nursing home.
Probably. Yeah.
You find that used Trojan, you're like, Barry, you did it, buddy.
It's foul.
Salute him, send him off,
Ship him off to the next one.
mission accomplished. He did it, and then he just rolled. That was what was holding him up. That's what kept him going. That one final climax.
I'm dead.
That'll be Phil when he's old and in
One
the nurse-
day. Yep. I'll be giving all the physical therapists physical therapy.
Jesus.
Oh no.
Yeah. Screaming about rotator cuffs.
And
Bend
and
your knee. You're gonna tear your meniscus.
lift with your knees. Lift with your
Lift with your legs, not your
lift with
back.
your legs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's actually my good point.
While they're lifting you. It's a team
Yeah.
lift and you're really screaming at them to lift with their legs.
Showing them how to set up
It's a
the gate
replacement
belt.
hip. Don't put that much weight on it. I don't know what Phil does in his job.
I don't know what I do with my job either,
What he
Justin.
tells people to do, I'd be like, just get out of the chair and walk, dude. Walk it off would be my solution. That's how I do my
Rub
job.
some dirt in it.
Yeah. Like, oh, your
Perfect.
back hurts? Like, walk it off. You just got your foot amputated? Walk it off.
Just stop doing that. Yeah. Just don't do that anymore.
Here's some Neosporin, you're fine. And a Band-Aid.
And a Bambus.
And a Bambus. That's right.
It'll solve everything.
You'd be like, what am I supposed to do with this?
Put it in your pocket for good luck.
Cherish it. Love it.
Okay.
We did it. We talked protected
It's time.
contact. We talked
We
all the
did.
things for a million years. Thanks for having me. It was fun.
Thanks, like literally so much for coming on. This was excellent. So we definitely really appreciate it. Seriously.
Absolutely. And I think that kind of future, if we want to plan like shorter pieces where we talk about this, so you can post like some educational content in between like longer podcasts, we can do that too.
Oh.
I know
Yeah,
that
me and Juju have been throwing some ideas at each other.
love that. Well, you keep throwing ideas at him and then they'll filter through to me eventually. But yeah. Love that. There's a lot that I think that like may get through to different kinds of people if they hear it like on podcasts being talked about normally versus like just educational content from TA. Because like that's predominantly when we'll do like TA content, it's going to be a lot of like educational stuff, which is important. But if that's all you do, like the subset of people that are particularly interested in that might be different than people who would just want to hear people talk about bugs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, this episode, as always, is brought to you by 4pieceapparel.com. Shirts, hats, mugs, things, sweatshirts, all that good stuff. Go check it out. Use the code THN at checkout. Get 15% off your order. That is the exclusive promo code for THN listeners and viewers like you. And then Tarantula Addicts on Discord.
Join it.
/TA. If that link does not work, which it should, but I've had people message me saying they tried and it doesn't, for whatever reason, it doesn't. Maybe they didn't put it in right. I don't know. Message me or Phil or anybody else, and we will get you that link.
Excellent.
Join it. Check it out.
Guys,
You will like it.
you will
see
like
everybody later.
Peace.